Welcome back from the break. Council, if you're ready to continue, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Tal, are you ready to proceed?
Mr. Tal, paranga punyo egali.
Yes, I am.
Thank you very much. Just before the break, we were discussing the role of the bar in removing dictatorship from this country.
Bala ñoo noppale ko ji nag ñu ngi doon waxtaanee li nga xam ne moo di kéene lawyer yi pour ñu génnee nguur googu nga xam ne nguuri jaay doole la fi ci réew mi.
In particular, the 2016 election impasse.
Surtout nag oote carte bi nga xam ne moo xewoon atum 2016.
You told us that the bar had met during that period.
Wax nga ñu ne nag lawyer yi dajee woon nañ jamono boobu.
And discussions were made around issuing a statement
to
ensure that the will of the people prevailed. After the statement was issued, it inspired Gambians from different walks of lives and organizations to issue statements geared towards Jammeh being removed from this country. Apart from your involvement with respect to the bar, did you participate in other means of activism?
Yes, I did.
Wow, def nako.
Just before that, pardon me. When, as at the time you met to issue the statement, the political atmosphere of this country was quite tense. And fear was looming in the hearts and minds of the citizens. How did you feel as an individual and your colleagues as well about what you were going to do? How did you feel about it?
Yow ci sa bop nak ak sa ay natango lan ngeen yek ci lolu nga xamne yeen ko paré wona garal.
I just want to take you back a little bit.
Dama la bëgga delo gannaaw tuuti rek.
Just my own personal experience.
Ci li nga xamne ni man jankuwante nako.
To contextualize how I felt and why I felt that way.
As
I said before, the first time I actually cast a vote was 2016. Because I believe that this time around our vote will count. Right or wrongly, that's what I believed at the time. So I went out to vote very early. I got up around 5:30 with some friends. Rafi Diab, my friend Rafi Diab, and another friend. After we voted, we came back to Rafi Diab and William Abraham were together, in fact. And I recall seeing a lot of people I know from all walks of life queuing to vote. And that gave me a lot of hope. Then we stayed together for almost 48 hours because remember when the election results were being announced. It must be the longest 48 hours for Gambians. And I didn't go home. I was in my friend's house. We were just watching, following the results. We had a laptop, computing everything, every single information we're computing. We were in Excel.
ñibi wuma maa ngi toog ci suma néegi xarit amee suñ laptop di seet nag wote bi ni muy demee lépp lu ñu yónnee rek ñu ngi koy seet.
And we had insiders who were giving us information as well.
te am nañ ay ñenn ñoo xam ne ñu ngi woon ci suuf di ñu jox ay xibaar.
Even before the election results came out, we had already added in our own way to suggest that Adam Barrow had won the election.
Balaa ñu yébaane sax li mujjee ñun ñëpp daldi woon nañu dajale mujjee gi sax ñu xam ne Adama Barrow sax gagné na.
For those of you who are around, I mean, if you came out around Keraba Avenue, Serakunda, Bakau, I mean, the kind of euphoria and joy.
Yéen ñi dëkkee boor bi sax bu ngeen ñëw ngeen mbeddi Kairaba ak dem boori Bakaw di ngeen gis mbégte bi nga xam ne nii moo fa nekkoon.
We had tears of joy. We were so happy.
Nit ñaa ngi doon jooy bànneex. Nit ñaa ngi kontaan.
It's like we had reached the summit. I mean, it was an incredible feeling. I mean, I cannot even describe this. And I think many Gambians felt that way.
Mënuma wax sax naka la toll yaakaar naa Gambien yëpp noonu lañ ci toll woon.
From turntable to traffic light was like packed with people. From Caraba Avenue to Westfield.
Lu ko dagee turntable ba traffic light yëpp nit ñaa ngi fa bari fees.
People were happy. I mean, it was an incredible feeling.
Nit ñaa ngi kontaanoon.
So Gambians felt that, wow, something new is happening.
Gambien yëpp yëg ne daal lu ees am na.
We are finally free.
Fi mu nekk nii daal jot nañ suñ sago.
And suddenly you started seeing military deployments.
Mujjee gi ñu gis ay soldats ñuy ebal ci mbedd yi.
Every intersection you had very strong military deployment with anti-aircraft artillery and all kinds of.
Foo munti xalaat ci ab mbedd rek ñaari gis nga fa soldats yi dajee fa ak ay ngànnaay yu am doole.
But what was bizarre was that Gambians were still celebrating. We were indifferent to them.
Waaye nag li gënoon a doy waar Gambien yi ba léegi ñu ngi nekk di mbégtu.
The fear factor was broken.
Ragal gi daal njàqare gi daal mujjee gi génn na fa.
For the first time knew that they can replace Jammeh.
Loolu nag mooy di njëlbeen yoon bu ñu xamee daal mën nañoo fee remplacer Jammeh.
So when Jammeh decided to come on TV.
Jamono bi Jammeh xalaatee na pour ñëw ci télé bi.
And I got a tip-off from somebody from State House that it's not over yet. Jammeh will basically cancel this election, and I was warned to be careful.
Ci la am nag ku ma yeetal nag ne ma jeexagul de Jammeh na mën naa bañ weer wote bi ba tey.
And the guy is a security personnel.
Te kooku mu ngi yëngu ci wàlli kaaraange.
So he testified before this commission.
Te ñëw na ci kanam commission bi.
And I told him, I don't know what Jammeh will say, but I don't think Gambians will accept this, whatever it takes or costs.
La ko ne xaw ma lu Jammeh di wax de waaye Gambien yi fooguma dinañ ko nangu.
Because where we are right now, there is no way we'll go back.
Ndax fi ñu toll nii gisuma dara loo xam ne dana tax ñu delluwaat gannaaw.
No way.
Mukk.
So when Jammeh made that statement.
Jammeh nag jamono bi mu yébaanee kàddu yooyu.
I mean, a lot of us who before perhaps were not very active felt that this time around we just have to do our best for our country.
ñun ñu bari nag ñu ñëpp ñu jàpp ne daal fi mu nekk nii jot na pour nañu defal suñ réew dara.
It's never too late to do the right thing.
Du mën a tardé nag pour ñu def nag li nga xam ne ni moo war.
And that was the unanimous feeling of the bar.
Jamono boobu nag baa bi yëpp ñun ñëpp loolu lañ jàpp ci suñ xol.
If you look at the members who came.
Boo seetee ñi nga xam ne ni ñoo ñëw.
Young, old, even those who were not called to the bar were there.
ñu ndaw ak ñu mag ñi nga donte sax ñi nga xam ne ni owuñ leen ci baa bi ñu fa.
The likes of Batamide who were on holiday, Emmanuel Diouf, Ida Person, any Gambian who was a lawyer, you came.
Gambian boo gis na dekkoon lawyer daal ñëw nga.
Some of them were judges.
Am na ñoo xam ne ni ay attekat lañ.
Some of them were in the state law office.
Am na ñoo xam ne ni ñu ngi ci office.
They came. So the issue of fair was not even in the equation at that point in time. It was what we had to do what we had to do, and come what may, we did it.
Dañ war a def li ñu war a def.
That was the only calculus we had at that point in time.
Loolu rek nag lañ nekkoon ci suñu sóoraale suñu xel jamono boobu.
Of course, we are mindful that it could have consequences, but at that time, I think our desire to do what we had to do really outweighed any sense of fear. Sometimes in hindsight, I ask myself, what the hell were we doing, really? If you look at it now, you might say, wow, well, that is, I mean, it could have gone the other way.
Waaw. Loolu yëpp daal ñu xamoon nañ ne daal lu ne mën na cee faaxee ko waaye nag amul dara luñ daan xelaa daal lu weesu loolu si suñu xel.
So and after we did our press release,
gannaaw buñ defee nag suñ press release bi.
A few of us were in the bar who had some very good international contacts.
ñenn si ñun ñi nga xam ne nii am nañ jokkoo yu yéwén ci biti.
Because I have been very active with the Pan-African Lawyers Union.
amoon naa jokkoo ak Pan-African Union.
And West Africa Bar Association for the last 15 years.
ak mbootaay ñi nga xam ne ñooy lawyer yi ci diwaani Afrique soowu jant ci ay at.
So it basically gave me access to all the bar presidents in Africa.
loolu nag jox na ma taxawaay lu jëm ci wàlli taxawaay fii ci Afrique.
So between myself and Gay Sow.
suma diggante ak Jay Sow.
We called the head of PALU.
ci lañ woo nag di kii jiite na PALU.
A Kenyan called Donald Dia.
Kenyan boo xam ne mu ñu xamee ko Donald Dia.
So he sent our statement to all the bar presidents in Africa.
ci la yónnee nag suñ kàddu ci bàyyi yëpp nekkee ci Afrique.
And issued a solidarity statement.
bind nag tamit kàddu goo xam ne ni kàddu guy féddali kóllëre la.
Copied to the AU and the UN.
ñu dal di ko àggale nag AU ak mbootaay United Nations gi.
And not to mention the other stuff that happened behind the scenes.
ak yeneen yi nga xam ne ni xew na ci gannaaw loolu.
The effect of this, in my humble opinion, is that
li ci faaxee ko nag ci suma xalaati bopp mooy.
At that time, the international community were not sure about the legal status of what Gambian law says. I mean, what was the position of Gambian law?
booba nag nit ñi daal di wuñ xam na li nga xam ne mooy taxawaay looy fii Gambia.
I mean, in some countries, I mean, if an election is challenged, you can stay. You can have a stay of execution. You can stay. You can cancel. Basically, the election will be annulled.
poto bu amee nag mbiri wote bi mën nañ koo dàq.
In our context, the election proceed. I mean, the winner would be sworn in, and you can pursue your appeal.
ci fii nag ñun ci suñ loi mooy ki gagné dafay toog bu ko defee yow nga continuer sa d'appel.
So there was this dilemma whether or not who has power, who can invite the UN, who can invite ECOWAS.
ci jamono boobu nag ñu ngi doon seet kana ci am doole kana mën a indi fii ECOWAS.
At that point in time, the government was Jammeh's government. So Jammeh's government was at the was at the UN, was at ECOWAS, was at EU.
jamono boobu nag nguuri Jammeh la ñoo nekkoon ci ECOWAS ñoo nekkoon ci United Nations ñoo nekkoon ci EU.
So we managed to send a narrative that juridically yes, but legitimately this government doesn't have legitimacy.
ci wàlli loi waaw waaye nag su fekkee ne ñu ngi jëm ci wàlli nu mu tëddee ci wote bi nag réew mi amuñ wote bi jaaruñ amul ku ko gagné.
I had cause to give legal advice at a very high level on this issue.
am naa nag taxawaay pour ci yeddeef lu jëm ci mbir yi.
And through this process,
ci saawa soos nag.
I was fortunate to have a good friend of mine, an older brother.
amoon naa sans nag am nag benn xarit di suma magi tamen.
His name is Baba Shola Fashola.
ñu xawee ko Baba Sola.
He used to be governor of Lagos.
mos naa nekk gouverneur bu Lagos.
And is now Minister of Works and Energy in Nigeria.
léegi jamono ji de mooy ministre bi saytu wàlli courant bi ak mbiri liggéey ca réewi Nigeria.
He's a lawyer.
tey lawyer la.
We were in contact. He was always calling to check on me.
saay bu ne rek mu ngi bàyyi xel suma mbir.
So I explained to him that we have a dilemma now, and Jammeh wants to keep power, and he wants to use Nigerian judges.
ci laa ko wax ne ko Jammeh day fi mu nekk nii dafa bugg a des ci nguur gi tey tamit jooji Nigerian yi la bugg a jëfoo.
So he asked me to write him a dossier.
ci la ma laaj nag pour ma bind benn dossier.
He said he will take up with President Buhari and the Chief Justice.
boo xam ne dana ko yóbbu na ci President Buhari ak Chief Justice.
So I prepared a dossier.
ma bind ko.
Which I will share with you.
nga xam ne ni gannaaw li dinaa leen ko wan.
Giving him the background knowledge, background information, chronology of events, and why Nigeria should not allow the judges to come.
bu ko fee rek wax ko nag li nga xam ne nii mooy li xew-xew yi ci am yëpp ci gannaaw ak li war a tax Nigeria waruñoo nangu seen jooj yi ñu ñëw.
So Aziz Bensouda and I, we coordinated this.
Assis Bensouda ak man nag ñoo toppatoo lii.
And I used my contacts in Nigeria and sent it over.
Ma jëfoon ak suma contacts Nigeria yàlla di ko yónnee.
That we were able to be in touch with the Office of the Chief Justice, Attorney General at the time, President of the Bar Association of Nigeria.
Ci kaw loolu nag ci lañ mën a daal di jokkoo Bar Association bi.
And civil society activists like Femi Falana.
Ku ñu mel ni ki Femi Falana.
Landela
Raju.
And what they did was they also allowed us to do activism in Nigeria. So effectively, they got me to write articles on a pseudonym
article
on mercenary judges trying to supplant democracy.
Mercenary judges democracy.
Which were printed in Premium Times of Nigeria this day, and even on Sahara TV.
So essentially, you obtained access into the media platform of Nigeria to extend the activism and ensure that the mercenary judges are not brought in.
So it was a two-pronged approach.
Fehebe joko ak ñi nga xamne ñoo nek Nigeria ngir ñoom itam ñu jappalé leen ba nga xamne atekat yoy nga xamne dañ leen fay pour ñu ñëw ndax bu ñëw ci réew mi.
So it's a two-pronged approach because
dafa melni ñaari fana joko la.
Now we can talk about it because it's now, in the past, but it was sensitive because technically the executive cannot interfere with judges coming to Gambia.
Légui nak mbir mu muñ faté la mën nañ ko waxtané.
So the strategy we discussed we had a very small group, was that let's raise the let's use the executive actually put me in touch with the press and the activists somehow. So let's create a lot of noise in the Nigerian press that will put pressure on the executive. And one of the things that was said, I remember, was that there are Casamance rebels who might even attack judges come to Gambia. So this actually got people started getting, even the judges themselves started getting afraid, and the government said, "Oh, if you go to Gambia, we cannot even guarantee your security." So in the end, diplomatically, they wrote and told the government that the judges are not available. It's too short a notice. They will come in May or April, I remember. And that was the work of the Gambia Bar Association. And also other forces, of course, were also in the background. I don't want us to take the entire credit, but we led that process that ensured that those judges didn't come to Gambia. But we believe that if those judges sat, maybe that was the only thing that Jammeh had. At the time. So after that, after the point, I felt that we need to do more. I mean, yes, we've issued a statement. We're working to stop the judges coming, and I was in constant touch with. Aziz Bensouda was the only lawyer that I was really talking to and.
Jamono bobu nak yegg na ne def nañ de way war nañu yokku ndax bo naal Aziz Bensouda rek la daan gën di jokkot.
I'm like, okay, just issuing a statement, then what?
Mu ngi melni rek di joxe statement rek ak lan.
But I didn't get. I guess I was seen as being a bit too radical at the time.
Dama gis rek ne jamono ngi digel bop rek waxtu wo.
More like the bar has done its job. I'm like, yeah, but we had different ideas of maybe we should even file an action just to frustrate the process. But nothing, I wasn't getting that much traction from the bar.
Please, could you kindly slow down a bit? The interpreter is finding it very difficult to catch up. Okay. Thank you very much. So you felt that even the statement won't have much impact on Jammeh leaving because he was bent on holding on to power.
Dafa melni yeen ni ngeen ko gisee woon mooy seen kàddu yooyu nga xam ne da ngeen booloo bind ko sax loolu rek doyut ndaxte Jammeh mu ngi gënoon a dëgër rek ne moom du bàyyi réew mi.
And you and some of your colleagues went further to ensure that the mercenary judges, as you call them, that were being asked to come don't come back into the country.
mel ni yow yak say natango da ngeen taxawon jonna dal pour gis ne ñoñu nga xamne ñoy attekat yoy ñu fay pour ñu ñew fi ci biir rewi Gambia ngeen def seen kemtalaay katan be ñoñu duñ ñew fi.
Point of correction, I would not call those mercenary judges.
ñoñu duma len oyé mercenary judges de.
With the exception of one of them, because they were distinguished judges.
Ay judge li wër lañ won.
To some extent, I think Ajim was part of the list, by the way.
Yaakaar naa Ajim bokkoon na ci tour list boobu.
I think if the document I gave, I don't know why I gave it to you.
Kay boobu nga xam ne moom laa jox xam nga jox naa la.
Judges. It included just Ajim.
mooy turi jooy yooyu noonu turi Ajim sax mu ngi ci bokkoon.
The document does have a list of judges that were requested by the government of the Gambia.
From Nigeria, and of course there was one from that's for Nigeria, but there's also from Sierra Leone. One of them was from Sierra Leone.
am na keneen koo xam ne tamit mu ngi war a jóge ko Sierra Leone.
Some of our members also worked on the Sierra Leone government to ensure that the judge did not come.
am na ñoo xam ne tamit ñu ngi doon lijjantee ci Sierra Leone rek pour ne kooku du ñëw.
How did you get hold of the list of judges that were being requested for by the government of the Gambia?
Naka ngeen jotee ci lim yi tur yi nga xam ne dañ ko bindoon te nguuri Gambia sàkku woon ne dañ war a ñëw fii bàyyi ko Nigeria.
I got it from Aziz Bensouda.
Aziz Bensouda laa ko jëlee.
He gave me all. I told him about my conversation with Fashala, and he gave me all the information I needed.
ci laa ko wax nag suma waxtaan ak Fashala ci la ma jox nag tur yooyu yëpp.
Then, so we worked very closely behind closed doors.
dañ doon jàppalante bu baax nag jamono jooju ci suuf.
And then we also used to brief the coalition leaders, as to what we're doing behind the scenes.
te dañ doon wax ak ñi nga xam ne ni ñooy liñ doon nekk di def.
So it was a very nice, cohesive. We're all one Gambia at the time.
nekkoon na déggoo boo xam ne ni bu am solo pour Gambien yëpp.
With one objective: how to make sure Jammeh goes.
ñun ñëpp ñoo am benn jubluwaay pour naka la Yaya Jammeh di demee.
Yeah. So anyway, thereafter I just felt that the bar has done what it could do in the circumstances, and I realized that there's nothing much more I can get. Well, not I. As Benson and I were very frustrated. We wanted more to happen, but the bar has just done what it had to do, and that was commendable.
man ak Assis Bensouda nag ñu ngi doon fexe pour def leneen waaye na fekk baa bi li mu war a def na ko te tëgg nañ leen ci.
Then and I was in those days I would compile every single statement issued on Gambia. I have a whole folder on everything about the impasse, every news item, every release, every day one organization, international, sub-regional would. So I was very obsessed with collecting the information, and then one day. I was in my study in my house, and my wife was like, one of her friends, her name is Asta Job. She was posting a lot on Facebook, and she was saying, why are Gambians, we are cowards, why are we not doing anything? We're just sitting here, and then there's this impasse. That was the time that Jammeh made an announcement, and then President Salif Johnson flew in, and with I think President of Ghana at the time, and Sierra Leone, to talk to Jammeh. They flew in, spoke to Jammeh, left, and we had no information. All we know is that they came to Gambia, went to State House, and Ibn Chambers was there as well, I believe, spoke to Jammeh, left, and we were all speaking on Facebook or in a banter speculating as to what is happening. We thought that maybe they would put Jammeh in their jet and take him away.
Mr. Taal, you have to take it in bits.
So, I'm a little bit excited about it, so that's why.
I can see that. The interpreter is lost right now. So I'll appreciate it if you take it in bits so that he'll get all that you're saying for the benefit of the local listeners.
Okay, mange jegalu. So
you may have to take that in Wolof. Then after we proceed.
I can take it in Wolof even.
Yes, that would be helpful.
Wow. So see jamono bobu benn bés maa ngi liggéey suma kër suma office suma kër so suma jabaat daal di ma wax ne xaritam bu ñëw ooy Asta Diop daal yaramam dafa tànga daal mu ngi post Facebook every day di wax ne ñun Gambien si dañ na sax lu sax defuñu dara naka la ñoo toogee fii ñun ma ngi toll ñun Yaya Jammeh ñu vote president, Yaya Jammeh decided na ñun suñu vote du count. Xana ñun duñ ay góor. Xana ñun jànguñ, xana amuñ xam-xam. And what are we going to do about this? And I remember this post that struck me said, the silence is deafening. I remember that. Because that was the time, mo jamono bi nga xamne Salif Johnson ñëw na fi, I think Mahama was outgoing president of Ghana, Sierra Leone president, and Ibn Chambers. Ñëw nañ fi pour waxtaan ak Jammeh. Waaye dañ ñëw waxtaan ak Jammeh after ñu dem airport duga plane ñibi. Askan bi lu gaay waxtaan foofu askan bi xamuñ ci dara. Xam nañ ñëw nañu waxtaan dem nañ. So mu nga amoon this gap daal, this information gap. And the political party leaders, they were in Keraba Hotel in their own space. They were not saying much.
Duñ daan nangoo wax lu bari léegi ñu def nii fi mu nekk nii da ngaa def ma topp sa kaw rek. I think it's better now.
Take it in bits, please, so that he will get all that you're saying. If not, we'll have to go back to the.
You want me to start again?
No.
Just
you're fine
continue
right now.
From there.
Just take it in bits.
I will follow you.
Wolof or English?
English. He will follow.
Okay. So then I asked my wife to pass the. Let me speak to Asta Job.
Chila wax suma jaw nak pour mu mem ma wax ak Asta Job.
So Asta Job told me, Sal, let's go and volunteer and help the coalition government.
Chila ko ne lama wax ne ma nañ dem ñu jema wakelu rek dal di jappalé nak nguri coalition bi
and deal with Jammeh.
Bu ko ñu jëflanté ak Jammeh.
So I told her I have another idea.
Chila ko ne amna benen xalaat.
So I told her, why don't you come to the house tonight?
Ndax do mëna ñëw ci kër gi fi ci guddi
around 7.
ci boori ngoon juróom-ñaari waxtu yi ci ngoon.
I'll call other friends and influencers to come.
Dinaa wax yeneen nit ñoom itamit ñu ñëw.
Then I'll order some food and we'll strategize.
Ma ootee ma indi ñam nag ñu bu ko def ñu seet nu ñooy defee ay pexe.
So I picked up my phone.
Ci laa jël suma téléphone.
Because I've always been active.
Seen ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekkoon di dox ci jamono boobu.
In different for example, we had done Ebola-free Gambia before many years ago.
Comme ni ñu defoon Ebola-free Gambia before nekk ngir nag ni daal Ebola bu du fi am.
So I have a good network of young influencers in the country. I know who they are. I've been working for years.
Am na ay ndaw yoo xam ne ñu am kàddu lañ fii ci biir réew mi.
So I picked up the phone. I called people I believe can amplify the voice of the Gambians.
Ma am ñoo xam ne nii rek ñoo xam ne am naa yaakaar ne mën nañu ekkati kàddu yi Gambien yi.
So I said, okay, I'll call someone from the press. I'll call somebody who's on the radio station.
Na o ñeen kenn ci bunti tasekaay xibaar yi ak registration bi.
And my friend Rafi Diab, he's a printer, owns billboards. So I called him.
Suma benn xaritam si Diab nga amee printam.
Rafi Diab.
Rafi Diab.
I mean, and I called some guy who owns the IT company.
Ma o ñenn ñi nga xam ne nii am nañ compagnie IT.
Some guy who's a marketing and PR guy.
Ak ñeneen ñoo xam ne nii ñu ngi def ay marketing.
Of course, plus my wife and her friends.
Ak suma jabar ak xaritam yi.
So, and my cousin also, who was very good, Momar Tal, who was also a very good strategist.
Ak suma benn doomi baay Momar Tal moom itamit ku am pexe la.
A guy called Adrame, who was a project manager at MRC.
Ak Adrame mi nekkoon ci MRC.
And her wife, Njinde.
Ak soxnaam Njinde.
Who has a PhD, I think, in molecular biology or something. Or can.
Ko xam ne tamit njàngam foor na torop.
So I grew up really smart young Gambians.
Ci laa am nag ay doomi Gambien yu xereñ.
And I said, let's brainstorm and find a way of doing something about it. So I said, the idea is, I mean, we have this opportunity. These Gambians are now together.
Ci laa am nag ne leen am nañ xalaat bi nga xam ne fi mu nekk nii Gambien yëpp ñu ngi bokk benn jéego.
So we have to keep them together because Gambians, we have this. We quickly forget and move on to the next thing.
Foog si ñu taxawal leen benn pa ndax Gambien dañ di yomba fàtte rek dal di continuer ci dara.
And I reminded them that we had done Ebola-free Gambia with a hashtag.
Ci laa leen wax ne defoon nañ fi Ebola-free Gambia ci benn tag boo xam ne nii.
And that was very effective.
Loolu nag doxoon na lool.
I said maybe if you could use the same model.
Yaakaar naa bu ñu defee beneen bu mel noonu.
We can bring Gambians together.
Mën nañoo indi Gambien yëpp ci benn.
And create a powerful message.
Pour nag daal di sànni ab bataaxel benn bu am doole.
That will unite Gambians.
yoo xam ne ni nag dana bennale Gambien yi.
Then we played the video on my screen of Jammeh.
ci laa dinañ play nag vidéo bu Jammeh.
Basically saying that, first of all, we played the video where he conceded.
dañ njëkk a play na vidéo bi mu nangoo ne gagné nañ ko.
Then we played the video where he reneged.
ñu defaat beneen vidéo bi nga xam ne ci la bañee.
Why did you decide to play those two videos?
I just want, it's psychological. I just want to captivate their minds. I'm actually older than everybody in that room.
dañ ko defoon rek pour nag gën a xirtal seen xalaat foofu.
I just want to just captivate their minds. So I put my laptop and put it on a big screen.
ci laa jël nag suma ma laptop def ko nag ci télé bu mag bi.
So that I could get their attention.
pour nag ñu gën a xeetu nag si seen xalaat.
I said, this is where we were. You can see it.
ci laa wax ne ñun fii lañ nekk.
Fii lañ nekkoon.
fii lañ nekkoon.
Now this is where we are.
léegi nag fii lañ toll.
You, all of us.
ñun ñëpp.
You are amongst the lucky 1% of Gambians.
bokk nañ nag ci ñi gën a am chance ci Gambia.
In fact, all of you are Western educated, which makes you very privileged.
ñun ñëpp nga xam ne am nañ njàngi tubaab nga xam ne ni daal jàng nañ.
Doing relatively well in life.
te tamit nag am yaakaar ci dund.
Are we going to stand here and watch Gambia go in vain, or are we going to go on exile and live abroad?
ndax dañ bugg a seetaan rek Gambia demee noonu wala dañuy war a dund boo xam ne ni daw génn nekk ci beneen réew di fa làqu.
And the lady Asta was really, I would say, she was the trigger, Asta Job.
te tamit Asta Job nag nekk na koo xam ne ni jigéen ñu xeetu la woon.
The need for action.
nga xam ne daal nee na daal dañ war a am ay jéego yu ñoo jël.
So we ordered pizza and suya, by the way.
ci lañ oote nag ñam yi ñuy lekk.
And we decided to come up with a hashtag.
ci lañ ñëw nag ak benn xalaat.
The first hashtag that came up was Jammeh must go.
bi njëkk a xalaat mooy ci lu ñu war a bind mooy Jammeh foog si mu génn fi.
But through our discussion, we said, no, that is too limiting. This is beyond Jammeh must go.
lii nag ñooñu wax ne loolu daal loolu xalaat bu gàtt la lii weesu na sax Jammeh dafa war a génn fii.
I recall that the hashtag for the election was Jammeh decides.
ci li nga xam ne nii moo nekkoon wote bi li mu defoon mooy Jammeh decide Jammeh xalaat na.
It was started by Said Mati Jaw.
loolu nag Said Mati Jaw moo ko xalaatoon.
So we said, oh, how about Jammeh decided?
ñu ne waaw léegi nag naka na Gambia has decided. mooy Gambia nag xalaat nañ ñoom it dogal nañ.
It was that eureka moment. I was, wow, that's good.
ci lañ ñëpp ànd ne waaw loolu de baax na.
So I called Said Mati. I said, Said, we don't want, he's one of our friends. He said, we are doing this and we want to use Gambia has decided, and you're using Gambia decides, just so we can synchronize.
ci laa ko wax ne ko nag ñu ngi jëfoo nag xalaat bii.
He said, I'm on board.
ci la ma wax ne ànd naa ci.
Right there and then.
foofu ak feneen noonu rek.
Rafi Diab sends a WhatsApp message to his graphic designer.
Rafi Diab nag seen message ci WhatsApp bi ci ki nga xam ne nii moo ko defal nag dessin yooyu.
And came up with a simple hashtag, Gambia has decided.
ci lañ ànd nag ak benn xalaat bu gàtt rek ne Gambia has decided.
Right there, we decided very quickly that what we need to do is we just want to push this hashtag, make it viral very quickly.
li ñu war a def rek mooy ñu gaaw siiwal ko tasaare ko.
And the way we will do it is we'll change our personal profile, all of us.
li ñu koy defee rek mooy ñu ñëpp dañoo génne suñ profile bi.
And then push it towards our networks and do nothing.
ñu dal di ko sànni rek si suñ network yi.
So we did that.
ñu def ko.
And in no time, it was like, in 1 or 2 hours, it was just beyond imagination.
diiram ñaari waxtu mbir mi daal mel niñ ko soxlaa woon.
Of course, we also decided we had a plan where we decided that we had a multi-pronged approach. We said, okay, we will do the hashtag.
ci jamono na am nañ xalaat yu bari ne dañoo def hashtag bi.
Then we'll print T-shirts.
ñu dal di def ay T-shirt tey ko ci.
We'll do billboards.
ñu def ay tabla.
And then we'll have a big show.
bu ko defee nag ñu am nag show bu rëy.
One of the guys that also was part of us, is Abdou Faye, known as Wagan.
kenn si ñun nag nga xam ne ni mu ngi si ñun biir ñu xamee ko Abdou Faye ñu koy xamee Wagan.
Who's one of the biggest music promoters in the country.
nga xam ne nag music promoter la ci réew mi.
And they have this thing called open mic.
Open mic.
And we said, we're going to use open mic to get to the young people, because open mic, you're talking about 5,000 to 10,000 people in one place.
So
we tasked Wagan to take care of the artists, to really get the artists on board. So we had all the artists, Gambian musicians. But we had to keep it discreet because it had to explode, rather than otherwise they'll arrest us all the time. So that's how. So initially, when we got Alaji Manka also. Alaji Manka, we got him on board. Alaji Manka.
Alaji Manka itemen ci lañ ko am jamono bobu.
One of the best, if not the best, videographers in the country.
Nga xamne ni bokk na ci ñi nga xamne ñoy def videographer nga mun na ko lool.
At the time, he was the only one following the coalition president, taking videos and posting it when GRTS would not show.
Moy rek kenn ki nga xamne mu ngi top nak president bobu time bo xamé GRTS du ko daan woné.
We approached him.
Ñu jot ci mom.
He joined us.
Mu and ak ñun.
We made that very powerful video at the beach.
Ñu def na video bu am doole bobu.
Yeah, we just sent that. I think you have the video.
Yaakaar na yaa ngi amee video bi.
In a small room in your house, you came up with a very powerful word that affect change in this country and woke the minds of young people.
Ci benn néeg bu ndaw rek ngeen booloo fa bokk benn baat taxawal loo xam ne wécc na bu baax a baax li nga xam ne moo doon dox fii ci Gambia ak ci xeli ndaw yi.
You say we, not I.
You, as in your group.
Yes. So actually, I have a picture which I took of the group eating the pizza and soya. You can.
Did you think that, as at the point when you conceived the idea, did you think it would blow up like it did?
Bi ngeen di jox xalaat boobu di dajale seeni xalaat na fogoon ngeen ne dina amee doole comme ni mu ko amee.
Honestly, no.
Did it?
But we were driven more by our desire to do something than not to do something. So for us, it's like, I remember, because you have to remember, my wife is part of my cousin, are part of this core group.
Initially,
I tried to stop my wife from being part of it.
Because
I told them that when we had a second meeting, and I told them what we're doing can send us, all of us, to jail, or we can die. In fact, these were the first minutes. I can't tell that because it's history, but I'll show you. These were the first minutes we wrote as Gambia has decided. Gambia has decided. With our strategy as how we deploy the hashtag. And how we manage our WhatsApp groups. We even had codes so that when someone is arrested, there's a code that you'll post so that you'll disengage, so that others will not be compromised. And we also bought burner phones. Every day, we just bought these cheap phones. Every day we have to throw it away because it was very dangerous at the time. But one thing I must say is that those young people were all very brave. They all took a risk. For the record, Talib Bensouda was one of them. When you had a second meeting, I called, he joined us.
Can you tell us about the risk that the group encountered as a result of their activism against Jammeh?
ñu mëna wax nak mbolo momu lan lañ defoon lo xamné oru dara ci ñoom jamono jo xamné ñu doon dal ci kaw Jammeh.
We went around putting up billboards.
Dañ dem di taxawal ay tabla.
And let's say Westfield, you go to Westfield, we had the soldiers right there.
am na Westfield am nañ soldat yu fa taxawoon.
And we are actually putting up our billboards.
ñu ngi doon jéem a teg ab tabla.
And when I say we, I would like to say that this small group is just started it, but it was all of us because Mola Kambi was part of it here.
ñun ñëpp la woon ndax dafa mujj woon bëri ndax Mola Kambi mu ngi fi woon.
Picking up T-shirts from Gile in Bakau.
Fàttali ko naa bu jëlee T-shirt ci Gile di ko yóbbu Birkama.
In those days, if you're caught with a T-shirt, you get arrested.
Ti jamono boobu buñ la jàppee ak T-shirt dañ lay jàpp.
Many Gambians got arrested for wearing a T-shirt.
ñu bëri dañ leen jàppoon ci ne dañ soloon T-shirt boobu.
But it succeeded because the young people of Gambia were the ones who made it nationwide. They're the ones who took it across the country.
nekkoon na nag loo xam ne ni daal ndaw yi yëpp ñoo ko dékku woon rek.
Because we had an event.
amoon nañ benn xew-xew.
It was called the Youth Convergence.
di ndajeem ndaw yi.
Where all the youth leaders in the country came.
njiiti ndaw yi nga xam ñoo nekk ci réew mi yëpp ñëwoon nañ.
And they took ownership.
tey tamit nag ñu moomale seen bopp.
And took Gambia has decided to the people, to the youths.
ñu dal di jël nag Gambia has decided ci yóbbul ko ndaw ñi.
We had another huge event at the University of Gambia.
amoon nañ tamit beneen xew-xew bu am doole ci university bu Gambia bi.
Where every youth leader in this country was present.
foo xam ne nii mboolem njiiti ndaw boo xam ne mu ngi si Gambia fii teewoon na fa.
We made solid pronouncements.
foo xam ne ne defoon nañ fa ay kàddu yu wér.
Jammeh must relinquish power.
ne daal Jammeh foog si mu jébale nguur yi.
At that meeting, the NIA came to that meeting.
ci meeting boobu NIA yi ñëwoon nañ ci meeting boobu.
But that didn't stop the youths of Gambia.
waaye loolu la terewutoon ndaw yi Gambia yi.
We were merely catalysts.
ñoom nag ay taxawaay rek lañ.
But it's the youths of Gambia that deserve all the credit.
ndax waaye ndaw yi Gambia ñooy ñi nga xam ne nii ñoom ñoo jara tatagal.
There was a time when then at some point they started bringing down the billboards.
ci yenn jamono ñu commencé nag di génnee table yooyu.
It's a picture of this is Westfield.
lii Westfield la.
It's two military guys on top of an ambulance bringing down our billboards.
ay soldat yéeg nag ci kaw ambulance bi di wàccee nag table yooyu.
And this is the time that I wrote a letter.
boobu mooy jamono bi nga xamee ni bind naa leetar.
An open letter.
leetar boo xam ne nag jëmale wuñ ko ci kenn rek.
Asking the president to stop.
di wax na président bi mu bàyyi.
Bringing down our billboards.
di génnee suñ tabla yi.
I think I should read this letter.
moom nag yaakaar naa joxe naa leetar boobu.
Just before you read the letter, prior to you writing a letter, an open letter, was the government aware of the faces behind this widespread movement?
I think they must have had a faint idea because remember we did a video.
yaakaar naa foog si rek ñu am ci ab xalaat.
And that video, those were the people who actually essentially founded Gambia Decided. That video.
this video boobu nag ñoom ñooy ñi nga xam ne ñoo génne Gambia Has Decided.
was viral globally, not even in Gambia.
video boobu nag dafa tasaaroon rek amutoon fii ci Gambia siiwoon na àdduna yëpp.
Just before you proceed with reading the letter, I'd like the Obi-Wan to kindly play the video for us.
Balanga janga letter bi na buga Obi-Wan ñu playal ñu video bi.
Sound please.
Okay, this may I? Okay, that's video.
Obi-Wan, we're not getting the sound.
We didn't have to play in 2 years. The first time we came back and took it to the ballot box, and Jammeh decides to take it away from us.
Obi-Wan, can you kindly restart the video?
We will continue the momentum to ensure.
Rafi Diaba owns a printing company in Gambia's capital, Banjul, and SALIEU TAAL is a Gambian lawyer. Together, they started the hashtag Gambia Has Decided after Yahya Jammeh changed his mind and refused to accept the election results.
I have decided. I have decided.
The hashtag in this video has since gone viral. As a result, they say security forces targeted them and they were forced to flee to Senegal.
ordinarily our freedom should not be given to us. We should have it as a right. We didn't have it for 22 years. For the first time, we came back and took it to the ballot box, and Jammeh decides to take it away from us. And we are saying no, and we will continue momentum to ensure that the will of the Gambian people as expressed in our votes is respected. And after it is respected, we also want to ensure and entrench a culture of respecting democracy in the Gambia.
The United Nations say thousands of Gambians, mostly women and children, are escaping to Senegal after mediation efforts led by West African leaders failed. In Banjul, shops are closed and security forces are deployed.
This is creating chaos. This is creating chaos in business. This is creating chaos in a lot of different sectors of society.
Adama Barrow is expected to be sworn in less than a week. ECOWAS, the West African body, says it will continue diplomatic efforts until January 19th. It's warned it will use military intervention if Jammeh refuses to let go of power. Senegal and Nigeria have their soldiers on standby. There's still a lot of uncertainty, but in less than a week, it could be the end of 22 years of Jammeh's rule. And so for the thousands of Gambians who over the years have fled to Senegal and elsewhere, there's a feeling of excitement and trepidation at the idea that if Jammeh left, they could return home and bring to an end their long exile. Military intervention or not, Diab and Tal now want to return home, to be with their people.
Gambia has decided for unity.
Those, they say, who used the ballot box to stand up to Jammeh and bring change to Gambia.
Gambia has decided.
Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera, Dakar.
Thank you, Obi-Wan. This video actually gave us a context as to when this Gambia has decided movement was formed.
Actually, this video was what I would say Gambia decided became global.
Ci laa gis ne Gambia daal decided bi ñuy wax ni daal di woon na siiw àdduna.
Because after we basically we printed more than 50,000 T-shirts.
Biñ printé lu ëpp juróom fukki junne T-shirt.
And the bulk of that came from our pockets and from friends.
Te loolu nag dépasse bi yëpp mu ngi jóge ko ci lu bari ci ñun ak suñuy xarit.
Very genuine Gambians who just send a check or pay for it without us even knowing.
Di ay doomi Gambian yoo xam ne ni nag ñoo yónnee seeni koppar fële jóge ko bitim réew.
So when the picture I showed earlier with the billboard, I was very upset that Jammeh is bringing down billboards, because initially when he brings one billboard, we'll put up 2 or 3. So they intensified.
Ci jamono boobu nag ñoom suñ wàccee benn billboard tabla ñun ñu aj lu dem ci ñaar ba ñett mu jéggi na mu xóotal ko.
So they really became very aggressive towards us.
ñu gën a am naqare na xol ci jëmale ci suñ kaw.
And well, one of the things we did was we started making these little stickers, Gambia stickers.
Bu njëkk nag si sticker yu ndaw yi rek lañ doore woon.
And we put it on the cars and the taxis.
ñu koy teg nag tey si ay taxi ak yooyu ak oto yi.
Obviously they cannot stop.
Loo xam ne mënuñ koo tere.
Then I wrote this letter.
Ci laa bind letter bi.
At the time, Bala Jahumpa.
Ci jamono boo xam ne ni Bala Jahumpa.
And General Baji.
Ak General Baji.
Where they were tasked to make sure that all our billboards, everything to do with Gambia side is not seen in the Gambia. That was their assignment.
Pour gis ne daal suñ tabla yi yëpp loo xam ne dem na mbiri Gambia decided bootu duñ ko gisati.
How did you know that they were tasked to ensure that
because the
materials bearing Gambia has decided are brought down?
Naka nga xamee ne ñoom dañ leen santoon pour ñu gis ne bépp tabla buñ bi na Gambia has decided rek wàccee nañ ko.
First of all, they were physically bringing the boards down.
Njëlbeen nag dañ daan def loolu di daane tabla yi ñëpp di ko gis.
I have videos of military people bringing videos down. I have videos of it.
Am na ay vidéo yu bari ay ñoon ci ñoom di wàccee suñ tabla yi.
What we did was when we found them putting it down, we'll send a video or someone will get it and send it to us, and we'll post it online, and it become more viral.
jamono boobu bu ñu leen fekkee ñu ngi wàccee table bi rek dañ leen ay nataal wala def ko vidéo ñu dal di ko siiwal ni àdduna yëpp di ko gis.
And that actually made them more irritated and mad.
ci loolu nag moo leen gënoon a naqari nag gën a dof.
So they went to NRA because Rafi Diab owned all those billboards. They went to NRA.
ci lañ dem nag NRA.
And the NRA person called Rafi.
am ku téléphone Rafi.
And I was asking him, well, he basically told him that these guys came to me and told me that you should bring down your billboards.
ci la kii ñëw nee na daal nit ñi dañ ñëw ci man ne daal na ngeen wàcce seen tabla yooyu.
But we actually paid for these billboards.
ñu ne ñun dañ fay billboards yi tabla yi.
And under the Constitution, we have a right to express ourselves.
ci ron luwaay réew mi am nañ ci yelleef pour wane suñ bopp.
And I said, we said we will not bring it down. If you do it by force, fine, but we're not going to bring it down.
ci lañ ñëw ne kanaa ngeen forcé ko ni wàccee ko seen bopp waaye ñun na duñ ko mos a génne wàccee.
And then we actually wanted to pay for ads in the papers.
ci lañ dem na yóbbu ci
like just a simple Gambia decided
kayit yi.
Will spread on the newspapers.
ci nga xam ne ni Gambia has decided na dana siiw si ñu kayiti xibaar yi.
And only Faroya carried it.
waaye na Faroya rek ñoo ko nangoo na
all the other newspapers did not want to carry it.
yeneen kayiti xibaar yëpp nanguwuñ ko génnee.
And a lot of people were being arrested for wearing Gambia Decide t-shirts.
te am na ñu bëri ñoo xam ne ni jàpp nañ leen ci niñ solo woon Gambia has decided t-shirt yooyu.
In fact, we had a special chat group where we'll go and support people, as is Bensuda and others, who are arrested or charged for wearing Gambia Decide t-shirts.
te itamit nag am nañ seen groupe boo xam ne ni ñu nit ci la ñuy dimbale ñi nga xam ne ni dañ leen jàpp ne dañ soloon t-shirt yooyu.
So at some point when the thing got so much traction,
ci biñ gisee nag yenn yi daal ëpp na.
I'm informed that a decision was taken at the State House.
ci la gis ne daal am na dogal boo xam ne ñu ngi ko jëlee woon ca State House.
That the ringleaders of Gambia Decided.
te ñi nga xam ne ni ñoo jiite woon Gambia has decided.
Must be arrested or taken out.
foog si rek ñu jàpp leen wala ñu génne leen fi.
I got this information from somebody who is a high-level security personnel.
ma jot na xibaar bi ci keneen koo xam ne ni kilifa la nag ci wàlli kaaraange gi.
And I will never forget this day in my life.
du ma mës a fàttali si suma bés.
It was 31st December.
li fanweeri fan ak benn la woon ci weeri December.
And I remember one of my cousins, the daughter of Obi Konate, Sini Konate.
kenn si suma cousin yi di doomi Obi Konate, Sini Konate.
Had passed away.
dal dina gaañu.
So we went to her funeral at the cemetery, Josuang.
ci lañ dem nag ci dëjam bi ci Josuang.
On my way back, one of my best friends, Lamin Sedikan.
bi ma wuñeeku nag kenn suma xarit Lamin Sedikan.
He called me. He said, "Sal, I want to see you. Come. I want to see you."
ci la ma téléphone ma Sal dama la bëgg a gis.
Somebody who needs to talk to you.
am na ku bëgg a wax ak yow.
So we drove to an apartment building around Josuang.
ci lañ dem na ci benn tabax ci Josuang.
And I stayed in my car.
ma toog si suma biir oto bi.
Went to the other car.
dem ci beneen oto bi.
Spoke to the guy.
ma wax ak kooku.
The guy was director of operations at NIA at the time.
kooku na moo nekkoon ki jiite operations NIA ci waxtu woowu.
I'm sitting in the car watching these two people speak. I don't have any idea what they're talking about.
maa ngi toog ne di leen seet ñu ngi waxtaan xam na lu ñuy waxtaan.
My friend Lamin Sedikan came to me and said, "Sal,
suma xarit Lamin Sedikan na ci la ñëw si man ne ma Sal.
Today you have to disappear out of Gambia."
ci la ma wax ne tey nag da nga war a daw génn Gambia.
I said, "What do you mean disappear? I mean, what?"
ci laa ko wax loo miin ci loolu.
Jame, there's an order that you should be taken out, both the junglers and the NIA. You have to leave the country like today.
ci la ma wax nag ne jàmme na joxe na ndigal jongula ak NIA yëpp de tey daal war ngaa génn réew mi.
To be honest, that was the first time I was afraid.
foofu boobu mooy njëlbeen yoon boo xam ne na ragaloon naa.
That was the first time I started digesting the consequences of our actions.
ci jamono boobu nag ci laa commencé di gis nag ñun suñ jëf ji lan la jur.
So I went home.
ci laa dem sa kër ga.
And I called Rafi.
ci laa oo nag Rafi.
No, Rafi was already at my house.
Rafi mu ngi woon suma néeg booba.
I said, "Rafi, we have to leave the country."
ci laa ko ne Rafi ñun dañu war a daw génn réew mi.
And then Mustafa Njai.
gannaaw Mustafa Njai Taf.
He called me to come pick up a donation for Gambia Decided.
ci la ma oo nag pour joxe man li nga xam ne mooy ndolalam ci pour Gambia has decided.
So as I was driving out of my house,
ci jamono bi moom génn na suma kër.
I saw an NIA pickup coming towards my house.
ci laa gis na benn pickup bi NIA di ñëw suma kër.
But luckily I was in somebody else's car, so they went past me without knowing it was me.
waaye nag li ma may chance maa ngi woon ci oto keneen rombante nañ te xamuñu woon ne man maa ngi fa.
When I got into when I went to TAF, I explained to him what happened.
ci la bi ma demee nag si TAF ci laa ko wax li xew.
So I asked, so I know that they'll be tapping my phone, so I took TAF's phone.
ci laa jël xam nag ne danañ bugg di seet nag suma téléphone bi lu may wax ci laa jël téléphone yi TAF bi.
I called my wife.
ci la téléphone suma jabar.
Told him to pack some stuff for me.
ci la ko wax ne ma dajaleel yenn.
I have 2 passports.
maa ngi am ñaari passeport.
I told him my British passport, give it to the gardener.
ci laa ko wax ne ko suma passeport yi Angleterre bi jox ko suma gardener bi.
Ask him to go to Right Choice and wait there.
mu dem xaar ma Right Choice.
And my Gambian passport, my clerk saying he will come and pick it up.
suma passeport yi Gambia bi suma clerk bi seeni dana ko ñëw jël si.
So then I arranged to get those 2 passports picked up because I don't want to risk, in case one is caught, I'll have the other one.
jamono boobu nag naa bañ na pour ñu jàppandoor yi nga xam ne ni suñ jàppee benn bi naa am beneen bi.
And then TAF kept me in one of his apartments till nightfall.
ci la ma taf na téye ci benn këram ci ba guddi.
And my friend said he can arrange for a vehicle to take us out of the country, Rafi and I.
ci la Seydi Kane nag daj lijjanti oto boo xam ne dana ñu génnee man ak Rafi ci génne ci réew mi.
The threat to the group Gambia has decided.
Gambia has decided.
Was it only you and Mr. Diab that was targeted?
No, they targeted Rafi, myself, Nyang Jai, Momar Tal.
ñim tuddu noonu yëpp nekk na ñoo xam ne ñu ngi leen doon roba.
And then my wife as well.
ak suma soxna si ak Asta Diop.
The entire group. So at that point in time, everybody went underground.
ci jamono kenn ku nekk rek yaa ngi nëbbatu woon.
My wife moved from my house.
suma jabar nag ci la génnee suma néeg.
Was living in an undisclosed address.
mu dem nag ci place boo xam ne kenn xamul ko.
But they were still, so the young guys, people would come in taxis and pick up the T-shirts. So we couldn't go out anymore. But the young people of Gambia would come and pick up T-shirts and distribute it.
jamono boobu nag mënuñoo na génn waaye nag ndaw yi Gambie yi danañ ñëw jël T-shirt yi dal di ko dem
we were targeted. So we take people like Babukar Nyang and others would come and arrange, pick T-shirts and pick it up.
ku mel ni ki Babukar Nyang dañuy ñëw ak ñeneen jël di jël T-shirt yi dem séddale ji ko.
I mean, so we left the country and those in the Gambia were at great risk.
ñun nag ñu génn Gambie waaye ñeneen ñi fi desoon nag.
So that kind of like sort of dampen things a little bit.
loolu nag mu ngi mel ni nag mu ngi ci wàll nag yenn nit yi.
So Rafi and I decided that we cannot be quiet if we've gone too far.
Rafi ak man nag ñu mënuñoo suñ noppee lu yàgg.
You have to remember, we are not activists. We just happen to find ourselves in this situation. We've never done activism before.
nekkuñ nag ay activistes.
So when we went to Dakar, Fat Jan Senghor.
bi ñu àggee Dakar nag Fat Jan Senghor.
Article 19.
bu Article 19.
And Aisha Dabo.
ak Aisha Dabo.
Very great Gambian women.
di ay jigéen yu am doole.
They give us a lot of support.
ñoom nag defal nañu ay ndimbal yu takku.
I always say that they're the ones who actually made me into an activist. So they gave me a crash course, I would say.
ñoom nag daanaka daan ñoo ma xiirtal ba ma nekk ab activist.
They sat me down, and every day I would go to the office of Fat Jaj. We'll have a program. He'll arrange for me to talk to the media, do interviews.
saa bu nekk rek danaa dem si office Fat Jaj mu jagleel ma way taskati xibaar yi ñu waxtaan.
Barrow, the bâtonnier of Senegal, Aliou Tine, Yanemar. So he got all these people to really help build us up.
ñim tudd noonu yëpp ñu fexeen mu boole ñoom ñun bañ taxawal ñu.
Even that Nicolas Cage interview on Al Jazeera, they did a special documentary on us, was through her.
bu documentary bu Nicolas Cage bi ci Al Jazeera boobu tamit.
So we were
ci moom la jaare.
We were on international global TV, Deutsche Welle, BBC. So that kind of helped elevate, even though our people could not speak in Gambia, we now have a global platform. Our voice was global. And that was very, very powerful.
suñ kàddu nag nekkoon na loo xam ne siiwoon na si àdduna bi te loolu amoon na doole.
And then also, our guys were starved of resources. So with Dakar, we would actually smuggle T-shirts. That picture you saw, we printed T-shirts in Dakar and smuggled them to Gambia.
nataal boobu nga gis nag dañ defaree ay t-shirt ca Dakar daal di ko yoole dugal ko fii biir réewi Gambia.
And we are smuggling posters.
te ñu ngi doon yoole ay posters si tamit.
People like Bank Gray Johnson and others, we were sending money for them to buy spray paint to spray the walls Gambians decided.
waaw kii mel ni ki mu tudd noonu dañ daan yónnee xaalis pour ñu jënd spray pen.
So beautiful that, I mean, many people were, I mean, this was like everybody's movement.
li nag mu ngi mujjee daal mel ni mbootaay ñëpp la woon.
It took a life of its own.
Let's talk about the press or the open letter made to the president. If you can kindly read through the letter.
Okay, this context. This letter was written after Jammeh started pulling down the billboards of Gambians Decided. And
letter boobu nag ñu ngi ko bind mooy jamono bi nga xamee ne ni Jammeh mu ngi commencé nag di wàccee tablay Gambia has decided.
So this letter was written.
Letter boobu nag ci lañ ko bind.
As a statement, rather.
Comme ni ay kàddu yu wér.
And it reads.
Ni lañ ko jàngee.
Gambia has decided.
Gambia nag dal dinañu dogal.
It's a civil society initiative based in the Gambia.
nekk na nag genn mbootaay goo xam ne mu ngi dox fii ci réewi Gambia.
Born out of the need and urgency to restore our democracy.
mu nga xam ne mu ngi sosoo nag ci éena gi nga xam ne am nañ ko pour dal di doxalaat suñ démocratie.
After the decision of the outgoing President Jammeh.
gannaaw boo xamee ni dogali kii nga xam ne ni mooy président bi tàggatoo jamono ji di Yaya Jammeh.
Purportedly annulling the elections and challenging the same at the Supreme Court of the Gambia.
si xelaati boppam nag fexe ngir dàq nag li nga xam ne ni moo fa xeekoo ci wate bi.
We are a non-violent.
ñu nag nekk nañ mbootaay goo xam ne ni xeñtuwuñ fitna.
And peaceful group.
tey tamit nañ mbootaay guy dox jàmm lañ.
Exercising our constitutional right of freedom of speech.
di yëngatu nag ci li nga xam ne ni mooy wane suñ yelleef ci dëppoo luwaay réew mi.
And freedom to associate.
ak tamit nag nekk ci sago soo xam ne ni danañ booloo wax kàddu.
We are abhorred by the actions and efforts.
dal dinañu am métti nag ci pas-pas ak jéego yi ñu jël.
By security personnel and some executive officers, particularly Mr. Balo Jahumpa.
ñi nga xam ne ñoo yëngu ci kaaraange gi ak ñoo xam ne ni ay nit ñi ci réew rawatina nag Balla Gaba Jahumpa.
In trying to silence our voices.
pour fexe nag ngir suul nag suñuy kàddu.
The voice of the Gambian people who voted for change.
di kàddu ay doomi Gambien yi nga xam ne ni wote nañ pour ñu indi wecceeku.
Our billboards have been destroyed by security personnel in uniform.
suñ tabla yi nag yàq na ko nag di ñooy yëngu ci wàlli kaaraange te tamit di sol uniforme.
And we are aware of the steps being taken to stop our campaign.
te tamit nag yëg nañ jéego yi nga xam ne ni jël nañ ko ngir tere suñ campagne.
It is ironic that the executive with the monopoly of power.
doy na waar lool ci nga xam ne nii nag ñi nga xam ne ñooy executive yi jiite nguur gi di ci seen nguur.
And security is using the same apparatus.
ak ay ñi yëngu ci wàlli kaaraange ñoom ñu ngay jëfoo benn bunta bi.
To destroy private property to silence our voices.
di yàq nag ay jumtuwaay nit ñoo xam ne nii ñoo ko moomal seen bopp ngir rek selewal suñu kàddu.
We heard the outgoing president complain about the vandalization of APRC posters.
dégg nañ nag ki nga xam ne nii mooy président yi tàggoo bi ne mu ngi tawat ne am na ñoo xam ne ñu ngi yàq nag tablaay APRC yi.
And we did not condone the destruction of any APRC property.
te tamit nag ba ñu tamit li nga xam ne nii mooy yàq nag tablaay APRC yi wala seen i jëfandaay.
In the same vein.
ci kaw loolu tamit.
We expect that our property is protected as citizens of the Gambia.
suñuy mbir nag moom it dañ ko aar comme ni ñun ay doomi réew mi lañ.
And our constitutional rights respected.
tey tamit ñu cëral nag suñu yelleefi ak luwaay réew mi.
As an initiative established for the promotion of democracy.
ci li nga xam ne nii mooy buntu bu njëkk ci li siiwal nag lu jëm ci wàllu taxawaay démocratie.
We believe in the coexistence of diverse political views and ideologies.
gëm nañ nag li nga xam ne ni mu ngi jëm ci wàlli seqatoo gi nga xam ne def nañ ko ci wàlli démocratie ci mbiri politique.
We believe in a democratic space where violence and force have no place other than protecting the citizenry.
ñu gëm itamit nekk ne ci loo xam ne mu ngi dëppoo démocratie nga xam ne ni fitna amul fa place te lépp mu ngi jubluwaay bi mooy rek ngir aar nag citoyen yi dëkkee ci réew mi.
We urge the outgoing President Jammeh as Commander-in-Chief
ñu ngi sàkku nag ci président bi nga xam ne mooy tàggatoo te tamit mooy Commander-in-Chief.
to advise his security men
mu yedda nag ñi nga xam ne ñoo yëngu ci wàlli kaaraange.
to desist from destroying or removing our billboards and banners.
ñu bàyyi nag di yàq suñ billboards ak tamit di leen wàccee ak suñ banners yi.
Our actions are for the preservation of democracy,
suñ jéego yooyu day dañ ko def rek ngir dundal nag démocratie.
which is the only way to ensure peace and stability.
ñu nga xam ne moom rek mooy saawo si nga xam ne ni moom lañu def ngir wane dëggal nag jàmm.
In our motherland.
ci suñ réew.
For the Gambia, our homeland.
Gambia di suñ réew.
Signed.
Signé ko nag di.
SALIEU TAAL.
SALIEU TAAL.
Hashtag Gambia has decided.
The Gambia has decided.
CC, copied.
Copy ko nag sottandeku ko.
Chief of Staff, Gambia Armed Forces.
Jox ko nag Chief of Staff, Gambia Armed Forces.
Minister of Justice.
Ministre bi saytu wàlli loi ak àtte ci réew mi.
Minister of Interior.
Ministre bi saytu wàlli kaaraange bi réew mi.
President Gambia Bar Association.
Ki nga xam ne mooy président Gambia Bar Association mbootaay lawyer yi.
Inspector General of Police.
ak ki jiite police yi réew mi.
Gambia National Road Authority.
ak buntu liggéeykaay bi saytu wàlli yoon yi ak kàddoog ndigal li ci aju.
By endorsing that letter, you put yourself under the radar of the government of Yahya Jammeh at that time.
Yes.
Binga binda nak wane ne bokk nga ci leetar boobu mu ngi mel ni yaa ngi dugal sa bopp ci mbaali Yahya Jammeh.
When we crafted, I mean, the beauty about Gambia decided is like we are a team. When we write something, we put it on Dropbox and collaborate.
li gën a rafet nag si Gambia has decided mooy ñun ak kuréelu boppam lañ tey tamit nag dañ ci seqatoo.
And every single word is well thought out.
te baat bu nekk rek dal dinañu ko jàngat bu wér.
From the onset, our strategy was to inspire.
ca ndoorteel nag suñu xalaat moo doon nag ngir ñu dal di xirtal.
And there's a language that you need to use when you want to inspire.
te tamit nag loolu nag mooy kàddu yi nga xam ne moom ngay jëfoo bu fekkee yaa ngi bugg a xirt.
So even in as much as we didn't think much, we didn't think highly of the ex-president.
Même bu fekkee tamit xalaatuñ nag lu gën a koy nag ci président bi.
We never for once.
mosuñu am bés.
Insulted him.
saaga ko.
We never for once.
mosuñu am bés.
Use foul words in our campaign.
di wax ay kàddu yu xaste ci suñ campagne.
Our narrative was a narrative of hope and inspiration.
suñ wax nag moom mu ngi jubluwaay bi rek moo nekkoon yaakaar ak tamit luy xirtal nit ñi.
We saw the glass as half full.
gis nañ ne daal feesu toon sax mooy kaas bi.
We thought we want to shift the Gambian mind from we're in a problem to we're going somewhere.
ñu ngi doon wan nit ñi Gambian people nit ñi rek ni daal ñu ngi jóge ko fenn te ñu ngaa jëm feneen.
And it was all about and it was very important for everyone because for us we had to do it peacefully.
nde léegi amoon na solo pour ñëpp ndax lii dañ ko waroon a def si anam goo xam ne ni anam gu dal te ànd ak jàmm la.
So when this was drafted, I volunteered to sign it.
lii nag biñ ko génnee man maa wàkkilu nag signé ko.
I mean, at that point in time, I really, whatever happened.
ci jamono boobu nag daal xalaat bi rek moo nekkoon lu xew rek na xew.
I mean, I knew that I was taking a risk.
xamoon naa ne maa ngi doon jaay bakkan.
I mean, I took a few precautions because I had installed CCTV in my house.
waaye nag jëloon naa ay jéegu motowaay yu ma aar jëloon naa nataal vidéo yi di seet ci biti.
I rented a very cheap car to move around.
maa ngi luyaasoon nag oto bu neex njëg daal bu yomb rek. pour di génn.
Every time I go home, I'll find a white pickup parked around. I mean, I was in my environment. Every time I get home, before I park, I would look, before I get into my gate.
bala waxtu bu ma àggaan balaa maay dugg suma kër dinaa daan seet wàllu boor yooyu yëpp.
Frankly, I expected anything could have happened to me.
séntu woon naa daal ne lu ne daal mënoon na maa dal.
But at that point, I don't know. I mean, there's something in me that I wasn't afraid.
am na loo xam ne daal nekkoon na ci man ragaluma woon daal jamono boobu.
I mean, when I think about it, I thought, wow, maybe I was on a suicide mission.
su ma ko xalaatee damay xalaat ne man daal damay xaru.
I remember my late father.
maa ngi fàttaliku suma papa jiitu.
and got his friends and others. They tried to, because I knew that if I told my dad I was going to do this, he would never let me do it.
ndax xamoon naa jamono boobu su ma waxoon suma baay ne ko lii laay def du ma nangu ma def ko.
My family members, no one, they just saw it explode like everybody else.
Suma mbokk yi tamit dañ gis mbir mi rek mu rek génn xamuñu woon ko.
And they would advise me, warn me. I said, well, thank you for your.
dañ ma daan yedd dénku may tamit.
It has to be done.
jërëjëf rek waaye nag lu ñu war a def la.
And I remember one of my uncles, he was like, you know, you're a businessman, blah, blah, blah. I said, were you not a member of Ken Street Vu?
Ci laa ko wax nag suma benn oncle nekkoon
I
ndax
got it
nekkoon
from
Ken
you.
Street Vu li ci yow laa ko jotee.
You know, so let me do my part.
Bàyyil ma def suma wàll.
And thank you very much.
Jërëjëf.
Mr. Chair, at this point, I'd like to put in the exhibits.
Adama dugal yi ci kayiti seede yi.
The Amnesty International public statement, where the case involving Ami Bensouda was cited as Exhibit 217K.
We are admitting or granting your request to put these in, but the commissioners would have wanted to see the exhibits as they were being given to you. We don't have the time now, I guess, but maybe you can pass some around.
We had
see
made
them as
reference
well.
to the exhibits during his testimony yesterday.
No, those ones here yesterday, but
Yes.
the ones that came in today.
Oh, my
including
apologies,
the
my
photos
apologies.
And the reports that were given to you, we hadn't seen any of those at all.
My apologies,
So
Mr.
go
Chair.
ahead and then grant that, but maybe we can just have a glance at them as you submit them for inclusion.
My apologies, Mr.
No,
Chair.
no problem at all. Just go ahead.
The Amnesty International public statement will be 217. That's from yesterday.
Yes.
The apology letter written by
You
Lamin.
say 217K.
217K.
Yeah.
The apology letter written by Lamin Kebamboj, dated the 25th of August 2015, will be 217L. The disciplinary proceedings against Mr. Christopher E. Mene and others will be 217M. And the petition by the bar, which he made reference to yesterday as well, will be 217N. For the exhibits tendered today, the photograph of the Gambia Bar Association members will be 2170. The photograph of the Youth Convergence will be Exhibit 217Q. And a photograph of
What about P?
P will be the photograph of the Youth Convergence.
Convergence.
And Q will be the photograph of military officers bringing down Gambia has decided posters.
Yeah. All requests are granted, Council.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
That will be all from me for the witness today, Mr. Chair. I'll hand over the witness to
Thank you so
now.
much, Council, and thank you, Mr. Tal, for coming to testify. You're a very brave man. You guys had gone through a lot of stuff, especially concerning the transition period that you had gone through. But I can assure you that outsiders did not leave you alone. They were involved in almost on a daily basis in New York and Geneva with chambers in Dakar. It was a daily engagement on the part of many, conference calls, Security Council as well. You were very brave here. Congratulations. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Carr, you have the floor, please. Me too.
My apologies, Mr. Chair.
Oh, sorry, my apologies. I have two, three things. Council, what did you say? And then
Just before Commissioner Carr comes in, I just missed out a document, and that's the dossier prepared by the bar for the minister in Nigeria to prevent the judges from coming in to listen to the petition by the APRC, and that will be 217. If I may get the last letter.
Q.
Yes.
Q as in queen.
That will be Ara. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
What about the video?
The video will be S. S.
C'est tout?
Pas encore.
Pas encore. Bon, d'accord. Oh, sorry. Hello. Go ahead, Demo Witness.
I have two more documents, I think. One of them is in December 13, we requested for Fagbele to resign, CJ Fagbele. And the bar resolution we passed that led to the statement.
Mr. Chair, the resolution of the bar with respect to issuing a statement and also calling for the resignation, a statement nullifying the presidential election, a statement condemning the outgoing president's denial of the elections, and also calling for the resignation of the Chief Justice, Justice Fagbele, will be Exhibit 217T.
So all these points you mentioned are all in a single document?
Yes, the resolution, let me read it out. The first resolution is that the Bar Association issues a press statement condemning in unequivocal terms the statement made by the outgoing president on the 9th of December 2016 nullifying the elections.
Yeah.
That's the first one. And the second one is the bar issuing a statement to the effect that the outgoing president cannot legitimately appoint or swear in Supreme Court judges. The third point is that the bar calls for the resignation of the Chief Justice as by his conduct during the presidential campaign. The fourth one is that the incumbent president hand over power to President-elect Adama Barrow. And the fifth one, the fifth resolution is that there should be immediate boycott of all courts until further notice from the executive. That's the resolution prepared by the Gambia Bar Association on the 12th of December 2016.
When you say the fifth resolution, are they resolutions or they items under the chapeau?
They are items on the resolution.
On the chapeau of
yes.
resolution. Yeah, splendid. Okay, thank you. Then that's with 217T as in
yes.
Tom.
And a letter to the Honorable, the Chief Justice, Fagbele, dated the 13th of December 2016, calling for his resignation by the Gambia Bar Association. And that will be Exhibit 217.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor, I'll just repeat that all requests are granted. Don't take me through the different letters of that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. While we're doing that, any other submission, witness or counsel before I give the floor back to Commissioner Carr? There is another procedural matter. You may please raise that now. Does it with your witness? Is that okay?
Yes.
Marvelous. Counsel?
That will be all from me, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Commissioner Carr, you may please continue.
Thank you, Chairman.
Chairman.
And thank you, Mr. Taal, my very own brother.
Mr. Taal, Sumamboka.
I've known you for a long time, and you've done a wonderful job with our young people. A lot of the names you've mentioned are familiar to me because they are also friends. Some are family. And I want to congratulate you for all the brilliant work that you have done as a group. Several points stood out to me in your presentation. Of course, as a young person, I think the most obvious is the role that you have highlighted, that young people in this country played toward ensuring that the will of the Gambian people was recognized. But I'm sure it didn't start there, because they were once described as the foot soldiers of the coalition. My concern is, unfortunately, in the discussions of the unfortunate human rights violations that happened over the 22 years of Jammeh's regime, what is often said is that Jammeh himself was a young person, and a lot of these problems were attributed to young people. Your presentation today somehow vindicates young people. We were at the forefront, and we paid a great price for that. And I know for sure you when you are in exile in Dakar, you are also there with a lot of young people. But again, now this brings me to my question. And I'll be asking you two questions. The first is on the political participation of young people. We do have a campaign here in the Commission called the Never Again campaign. And part of that is to encourage young people to have a broader participation in the political process of this country. Since we are about 68% of the population. What would be your advice to this commission on how we can encourage young people? How they can be active participants in this political process, not just as voters, but also as candidates, and also in the broader spectrum of the political dimension of this country.
Naka la ñoo mëna dugalé seen bopp nak ci wàlli politique bu mu em rek ci dem sànni karta waaye ñoom sax ñu taxaw pour ñu sànnil leen.
Thank you.
Jërëjëf.
Thank you, my brother, Commissioner Ka.
Jërëjëf Commissioner Ka.
That is a very brilliant question.
Loolu na nekk na laajte bu am solo.
And it's a topic very close to my heart.
Te nekk na mbir moo xam ne ni jege na lool suma xol.
The older people have wisdom.
Mag ñi nag am nañ xalaat yu rafet.
The younger people have dynamism.
Ñoom ndaw yi tamit xiirtu nañu.
And the two together,
te buñ boolee ñaar yooyu.
I think it's the magic formula.
Nekk na mbir moo xam ne ni day njabar la.
I mean, I am older. I mean, I'm close to 50.
Fi mu nekk nii maa ngi ay dem ak juróom fukki at.
And the greatest inspiration I have.
Ci li nga xam ne moom laa gën a xiirtu nag.
Since I've been back in the Gambia.
Depuis bi ma dellusiwaatee fii ci réewi Gambia.
Has been working with young people.
Mooy di liggéeyaan jëflanteeg ndaw yi.
And if
te bu fekkee ne.
We are serious about developing this country.
Fullaal nañ pour lu jëm ci wàllu yokkute ak njëm kanami réew mi.
We must genuinely
foog si rek ñu
build the capacity of young people.
Yokku na xam-xami ndaw yi.
And then empower them.
Dal di leen dooleel.
Because without capacity.
Bu fekkee yokkuñ seen xam-xam seen taxawaay.
And knowledge.
Ak xam-xam.
You cannot be properly empowered.
Mënoo dooleel boromam.
And in my dealings with the young people.
Te bu fekkee nag ni ma jëflante man ak ndaw yi.
I find a lot of passion.
Gis naa ci ay ina yu bari.
Zeal and drive.
Ak loo xam ne tamit doxali ni xol la ak niñ koy jëflee.
But it takes a lot more than that.
Waaye nag jël na lu weesu njot.
And one of the ways I believe that.
Ci anam yi nga xam ne moom laa gëmee ne.
We can increase.
Ne mën nañoo yokk.
The political participation of the young people.
Lii soobuteeg ndaw ñi ci wàlli politique.
Is to identify champions, leaders.
Nañu ràññee ay ndaw ay njiit yoo xam ne ñu wér lañ.
Build their capacity.
ñu yokk leen xam-xam.
Expose them.
Dal di leen feeñal.
Then give them the power.
Dal di leen dooleel.
I was part of Not Too Young to Run campaign.
maa ngi woon ci campagne bu doon wone tamit ne daal nekkul lu ndaw pour nga campagne.
I mean, I work very closely with Sam Itodo of Nigeria who started this.
Dal di woon naa doon jokkoonteeg Sam Itodo bu Nigeria mi ko commencé woon.
I was very integral in that campaign in Gambia.
te tamit nag xóotoon naa nag ci campagne googu fii ci Gambia.
And I think through that campaign we got about 5 MPs.
te tamit ci wàlli campagne boobu am nañ ci dem ci juróomi député.
And I think we can take it further.
te yaakaar naa mën nañooy gën a yaatal loolu.
It's not only about getting your MPs.
du rek pour am sa député yi.
We need to move beyond the tokenism.
war nañooy weesu nag njottal loolu.
Beyond the rhetoric.
waaw.
You need to bring young people who will make a difference.
indi ay ndaw yoo xam ne ni danañ indi wecceeku.
Young people who don't just tick the box.
ñoo xam ne ni duñ jël
every political party has their young person, you tick the box.
waaye nag am na ndaw yoo xam ne parti politique bu nekk rek waaye ñu gàddu kees gi rek.
You need to bring young people who are selfless.
foog si ñu indi ndaw yoo xam ne nii.
dedicated.
am nañu ina.
grounded.
ñoo xam ne nii wér nañ.
knowledgeable.
am nañ xam-xam.
disciplined.
te am nañu yar.
This takes time.
dana jël waxtu.
It has to be nurtured.
foog si rek ñu suuxat ko.
I mean, for the last 4 years, I spent a lot of my time working with young people.
ci diiram ñeenti at ci gannaaw jël naa waxtu bu yaatu nag di liggéey ak ndaw ñi.
During the constitutional building process,
ci jamono bi nga xamee nag.
I taught the country with the young people on the activist, the constitution we want campaign. And I've seen that there are brilliant young minds in Gambia. They just need to be mentored.
am na ndaw ñoo xam ne ni ndaw ñu am xel lañ que li ñu aajoo rek mooy ku leen suuxat.
With all due respect,
waaw ak cër yi yëpp de.
our education system in the Gambia leaves a lot to be desired.
suñ bunti njàng mi de am na lu bari loo xam ne ni.
who graduate.
ñu gis ay ñoo xam ne ni jeexal nañ
degree.
am nañ degree.
Even become lawyers.
ñëw nekk lawyer.
But even English language.
waaye nag làkk anglais bi sax.
It's a problem.
dana jafe.
So I always tell the young people that.
de wax ndaw yi nag ne.
I don't believe anybody is entitled to lead.
nekkul kenn ku nekk daal yelloo na pour mu jiite.
You have to earn it.
foog si rek nga nekk koo xam ne da nga ko
not because you're young.
nekkul ne da ngaa ndaw nekk ndaw de.
You're young and brilliant and selfless and have the qualities.
waaye nag nekk nga ndaw boo xam ne nii am nga xalaat bi am nga.
And the young people I mentor, that's what I instill in them.
te ndaw yi nga xam ne nii nag daal dinaa leen yar loolu laa dugal seen bopp.
You're not going to lead just because you're young.
nekkul rek ne da nga ndaw.
What is special about you as a young person?
lan nga xam ne moom nga gis yow
motivate other young people.
lu feeñ te loo xam ne da nga mën a xeetal.
In other words, we must build a meritocratic system where the best and the brightest are allowed to flourish.
ñi nga xam ne nag ñoom ñooy jiitu te tamit ñoo gën a leer.
Of course, without leaving behind others, but I think in any society that has to move, you must celebrate excellence. So this is one. I think the TRRC. I mean, you have a lot of brilliant young people here.
TRRC.
Most of them I've known them through our different engagements.
If you
take these young people, give them fellowships, let them go to Harvard. Let them go to Cambridge. Let them go to NR. Open their minds. Let them see the world. Let them interact with young people globally. I spent quite a bit of my time traveling because of government side. I've been to great centers of learning. I've met the greatest minds in Africa, young minds, and I know their standards. But we need to expose our young people more, build their capacity more. Even if you have 10, you take 10, you expose 10. And that's the way you will build, so that now we start, rather than accepting mediocrity, we build standards. It's very important. That's the only way we'll have real power. Otherwise, we'll just be tokens or clients of political parties. I don't know whether I've answered your question.
Thank you. You've definitely answered my question. And the second, you have partly answered too. And that is youths getting involved, not just for the sake of it, but also to improve their plight and the plight of the country. I'm sure there are a lot of young people who may think that the change that they fought for in terms of bringing opportunities in terms of bringing opportunities so far hasn't been met. So what I want to ask you is, how can we ensure we bring these opportunities to young people? I'm sure you have spoken about building their capacities. I'm sure it takes more than that. But how do you think we can also ensure that the plight of the young people is improved through the voting process? Thanks.
I
mean, I think you guys, young people say, if it's not by the youth, it's not for the youth, right? That's your slogan. So when they're making the menu, serve you the food, you should be at the table. And I mean, I go back to capacity, for example. For example, you should have more youths at the National Assembly. The laws are made. You should have more youth councillors, not only the youth rep. You should have more youth councillors. You should have more youth mayors and chairpersons. And you should also be a more cohesive, strong group. I work with the majority of young groups in Gambia. I know most of them. And many of them are working in silos on the same thematic area. Let's say if you have gender, you'll have The older generation work on gender, the younger generation work on gender, and they usually at loggerheads. And gender is an intergenerational issue. There needs to be more synergy. You have 5-6 groups working on peace building, doing the same thing with limited resources. So the moral of the story is, I think your leverage is being strong together. Because at the end of the day, I mean, if the youths are strong, no government can afford not to listen to you. If you are 68% of the population, and you are strategic enough, and united enough, I think no government, no political party can ignore you. So you must be, because what has happened is, post-2017, the political parties systematically divided us. They split us into, we were one group, your youths, and now is the youths of this party, the youth of that party. We are in the same group, Democratic Gambia, we're in that same group, right? You can see the conversation that happens in that group. You are in that group. Democratic Gambia is the biggest WhatsApp group of the most influential youths in the Gambia from all political parties, groups, tribes. Very interesting group. I'm one of the elders in that group. Yeah. So, and in that group, I mean, the discussion is always about this party or that party or this party. And I always remind them, I thought that this group was set up initially to help Aisha Toure. I remember, right? And now, after that, we discussed issues of youth. But now, we don't discuss democracy. We discuss which party is better than the others, which party has a bigger crowd than the others. I mean, I've been in this group for 3 years now. That's what I see. And I always try to remind the young people. But at the end of the day, we can only try to encourage you, but you must take ownership and leadership and show that you are serious about where this country is going. You're entitled to have a political party, but your country is bigger than your party. Your country is bigger than your tribe. But we are all fixated by where we're from, what party we support, as if you're choosing your country as a football team, Manchester United versus Arsenal. So we must transcend that kind of thinking, and it takes time. And I think we have a long way to go, because the level of maturity that we need to have will take time to instill. But it's not too late. But people like you are very progressive-minded people. You are champions. You could help, and we will also be happy to support. Thank you.
Thank you, and I just encourage you to continue engaging with young people. I'm sure we'll continue to learn from you and your likes, and well done once again.
jërëjëf maa ngi laa gën a xiirtal na nga jàppale ndaw yi xam naa ne di nga jàppale ndaw yi bu baax ak ñi mel ni yow tamit.
Thank you. Deputy Chair, followed by Commissioner Kinte, followed by Bishop and Imam Jallo, in that order. Deputy Chair, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mariama. Thank you, Sir.
Jërëjëf Chair, jërëjëf Mariama, jërëjëf Sal.
The last part of your, I cannot say testimony, but what really statement made me really emotional.
Sa kàddu yu mujj yi nga xam ne moom nga fi gaaral nii dafa daw suma yaram.
I was really moved by the efforts that the young people of this country made to bring about significant changes.
Suma yaram dafa daw ci taxawaay bi nga xam ne ay ndaw booloo nañ seen bopp pour indi wecceeku bu am solo bii ci biir réew mi.
And I hope that what they did then, they can still use and maintain to take this country to the level that we want it to reach.
Jamono jooju li ngeen booloo woon ba def ko foog naa mun nañoo sukkandiku waat ci loolu ba mun a yóbbu réew mi fa nga xam ne foofa lañ ko soxla.
Now coming to the first part of your testimony, you described in detail how lawyers were selective about the type of cases they took. How they scrutinized their communications to make sure that the language was in line with what the executive wanted to hear.
Ak ni nga xamne non la ñoo séggé tan bu baaxa ba baat yi nga xamne mom la ñoo wara sukkandiku te njit li mom muy baat yo xamne mom la bëgga dégga.
And I just wanted to ask do lawyers practice self-censorship? I know journalists do, the media do, but seeing that I'm not very legal, I wanted to know whether legal people do practice, lawyers do practice self-censorship. That's the question.
xam naa ne waytaskati xibaar de dañ ko dee def de waaye li ma bëgg a xam mooy ndax lawyer yi ñoom itamit li ñoo def dañ ci dee seggaat seen boppa bu baax a baax.
Thank you, Auntie Adelaide.
Jërëjëf Auntie Adelaide.
That's a very good and apt question.
Laajte bu am solo la.
I mean, yes, surely lawyers do practice self-censorship and do exercise self-restraint.
Lawyer yi dinañ dee jox nag seggatif ni nga xam ne noonu la ñooy doxalee seen liggéey.
I mean, during the 22 years, I mean, lawyers had, well, many lawyers were very tactful
Ma la wax jamono ñaar fukki at ak ñaar nguur gi.
in the way they communicated.
Lawyer yi nag dañ daan sell lool ci ni nga xam ne noonu lañ daan jokkooyee.
For the fear of reprisals.
Ci njaxare notel googu nga xam ne mën naa am.
And sometimes they would use flattering language.
Léegoo-léeg nag dañ dee jëfoo ay yeneen kàddu.
If you look at some of the letters I even tendered.
Soo gisee ci leetar yi ma bind sax de.
When we're addressing Babili Mansa, how the wording is it's like a love story or a poem.
Soo gisee ni nga xam ne noonu lañ daan waxee Yaya Jammeh dafa mel ni rek ku koy bakk.
Which is rather unfortunate.
Tey nga xam ne daal nekk na ak mbetteel.
Regrettable.
Ci lii.
But it was that time when many people, including lawyers, were not bold enough to offend Yaya Jammeh in general.
Tey tamit mooy jamono bi nga xam ne ñun lawyer yi ñeme wu ñoon pour nag tapas Yaya Jammeh.
Ordinarily.
Ndek loolu nag.
Lawyers.
Lawyer yi.
And the journalists, the Fourth Estate.
Ak waytaskati xibaar yi.
Are two groups that should not self-censor.
Nekk na ñaari groupe yoo xam ne ni daal duñ daan ceggati ci seen bopp.
These are two groups of professionals who should actually give the voice to the voiceless.
Ñi na ñooy ñi nga xam ne nii ñooy ñaari groupe yi nga xam ne ñooy jox kàddu ñi nga xam ne nii dañ ñàkk kàddu.
But this is why dictatorships, these are the first two groups that they attack.
Lii moo tax nag nguur ak jaay doole ñaari buntu yooyu la ñuy njëkk a song.
And I trust and I hope we have learned from it.
Tey tamit am naa yaakaar ne daal jànge nañu ci.
I mean, even now, as Bar President, I do get sometimes people tell me, "Oh, you're too political."
Ba léegi sax nga xam ne nii man maay président yi mbootaay lawyer yi ba léegi dañ ma dee wax ne da nga xóot ci politique.
Senior colleagues.
Léegi nag ay kilifa sax.
I remember when the president unlawfully terminated Yakuba Jaite.
maa ngi fàttaliku jamono bi nga xamee ni président bi dal dina dàq Yakuba Jaite ci loo xam ne dëpput ak yoon.
And I wrote a letter.
ma bind letter.
Published.
Àggale ko.
Stating that clearly that was unconstitutional.
Di wane nag ni mu gën a leer ne loolu daal dëpput ak yoon.
The bar wasn't united behind me.
Kuréeli lawyer yi yëpp ñu ngi woon suma gannaaw.
Some of them thought I was I'm political.
ñenn ñi fooy ndax sax dama political.
And this is my answer to them.
Lii moo doon suma tontu.
I said, get used to it.
Ni miin nañ ko.
Because law is political.
Ne loi moom dafa ànd ak politique.
But I'm not partisan.
Nekkuma nag koo xam ne dama parparloo.
Anything that affects the life of the population, the citizen,
loo xam ne nag gàllankoor na nag dundi ni nit ñi fii dafa ànd ak politique.
Economics is political.
Koom-koom gi dafa politique.
So anything that touches the constitution or rights.
loo xam ne dafa laal bunti loi bi ak yelleef yi.
As Bar President. nga
xam ne maa jiite mbootaay lawyer yi.
Our position will be known.
Suñ taxawaay na dañ ko xam.
Whether people are happy about it or not.
Ndax nag nit ñi kontaan nañ wala déet.
That is a list of my considerations.
Lii nag moo nekk nag li nga xam ne bàyyee nañ ko xel.
As long as my conscience is clear.
Ndegem nag suma xalaat moom leer na.
And my only motivation is to speak truth to power.
Tey su nga xam ne ni suma motivé moo nekkoon pour wax dëgg bi.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Kinte. You have the floor, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Jërëjëf Chairman.
Thank you, SALIEU TAAL.
Jërëjëf SALIEU TAAL.
For your very, very brilliant and useful deliberations. It has always been nightmare for me. The achievement of our this noble slogan, never again.
Never again.
Sometimes when we want to look at it and say which group or which issue or which strategy is most critical,
léegi-léegi buñ ko seetloo na pour a wax ne ban mbootaay wala ban yoon la ñoo mun a jaar bu ci gën a am solo.
we get mesmerized.
dañoo xaw a jaxasoo.
Why I think in my view,
waaye man nag ci suma gis-gis,
the most critical issues
mbir mi nga xam ne moo ci gën a am solo,
and the most critical mass,
ak leneen li nga xam ne mbooloo la bu gën a am solo,
it's not been actually diagnosed and appreciated.
feeñal luñ ko nag lool para ñu nangu ko.
The colonial power
ñi nga xam ne mooy woon nguuri tubaab ya,
who controlled our everything including our minds,
nga xam ne ñoom lépp luñ daan doxee suñu xel mi sax ñoom ñoo ci tegoon seen loxo.
only prepared us as service providers.
ñoom dañ ñu waajal rek pour ñu leen a liggéeyal.
And so we will be teachers, lawyers, and name them.
nga xam ne dañoo nekk ay jàngalekat, nekk ay lawyer ak yeneen a yeneen.
But they have not instilled in us, probably through our educational curricula and so on,
waaye dugal luñ nag ci suñ bopp anam yi nga xam ne foofu lañ ñoo jàngee.
that we have the self-confidence
ne dinañ am óolute ci suñ boppa.
and we will have the skills,
te dinañ am xam-xami métier.
and thus we will be resourceful
te dinañ am njëriñ.
even without anyone.
de fekk sax ne keneen duñu jàppale.
If that mentality has been naturalized in our systems,
su fekkoon ne façon xelaat boobu duggal nañ ko ci suñ wàlli doxalin.
a lot of the problems we are encountering will not encounter.
façon jafe-jafe yi ñoo jànkuwante ni yëpp ni kon du am.
And in most common than not,
te ni mu gën a farloo nag.
we focus on opportunities
dañ dee bugg a sukkandiku rek ci loo xam ne suñu bugga la.
and not the realities.
te duñ dee seet li nga xam ne mooy dëgg bi.
Imagine how many of us have completed school and are good poultry managers.
seetal ñun ñaata ñoo jeexal school nekk ñoo xam ne ay yarkati ganaar lañ.
How many of us have completed school and can be good engineers?
ñun ñaata ñoo jeexal school wala nekk ingénieur yu baax.
Now, if we are lacking all that,
su fekkee ne lii yëpp ñàkk nañ ko.
the paraphernalia we need will be absent.
li nga xam ne loolu lañ soxla nag pour jëfee ko duñ ko am.
And then we are still ambitious.
te benn tey tamit ñu ngi am xalaat bu sori.
Where are we?
bon fuñ jëm.
When we don't have the tools and the means.
su fekkoon ne amuñ jumtuwaay ak man-man bi.
But we have the desires and the ambition.
waaye nag suñ xalaat ak suñ bugga am nañ ko.
It becomes confrontation.
bon nag dina doon loo xam ne kàddu yu jaamaarloo laa doon.
Resulting from frustration.
loolu lépp li ko waral mooy jaaxle ak jaxasoo boo xam ne.
So like if we have to achieve this, never again.
mel ni lii ñu binda nii ne never again bu mu fi amati mukk.
The most critical mass is the youngster, the child.
mbooloo mi gën a am solo nag mooy gune gi.
And the early youth.
ak ndaw yi.
Not the later one.
waxuñ mag yi de.
The later one is looking for secretarial positions and political power or whatever.
xëy na yeneen ndaw yi xala magaale ñoom ñu ngi ut ay yeneen i bunta politique wala.
It's a question of conscientization.
dafa des nag ci ni nga xam ne noonu la ñoo toogee.
We change the mentality.
pour ñu wecci xalaati nit ñi.
And then we can have the desire.
bu ko defee nag suñ bugga ñu mun koo.
Let me cite some examples.
xaaral ma joxe ci ay misaal.
When Yaya Jammeh and the fellow juntas took the country,
Yaya Jammeh ak ay ñoñam juntas si biñ jëlee réew mi.
they were mainly between 25 and 30 years.
ñoom ñëpp ay ndaw lañ diggante ñaar fukki at ak juróom ba fanweeri at.
They are youngsters.
ay ndaw lañ woon.
They have not given us anything that could be desired. They left much to be desired.
defuñ ñu dara loo xam ne daal moom lañ kéene pour def ko yu bari lañ bàyyi gannaaw.
Presently, all our youths, we have all converged in the urban area.
jamono ji nag suñ ndaw yëpp ñu ngi bàyyee ko.
Competing for the most limited resources.
di ñoŋante ci ay am yoo xam ne
When we have a lot of opportunities, we can fall back on.
fekk am na ay bunte yu ci bari yoo xam ne sax mun nañ ci sukkandiku.
and become a better society.
ñu mun a nekk askan woo xam ne wu tekki laa doon.
Again, another thing.
beneen leneen li nag moom.
Unless we stop saying me and my family first.
ndaare rek ñu bañ a wax ne man ak suma mbokk yi ñooy jiitu.
And become patriotic to say when it is country, it is everyone plus me and my family.
wax ne ñu jël xalaat boo xam ne dañoo wax ne buñ waxee mbiri réew mooy réew mi man ak sumay mbokk.
Unless we nurture and establish such mentality.
ndaare rek ñu jël façon xalaat bii dal di ko saxal.
We will find it very difficult to go anywhere.
dina am jafe-jafe nag pour ñu dem.
I thank you very much for what you have endeavored and the whole team.
gërëm naa la bu baax a baax ci li nga xam ne moom nga def ak ni nga jàppale.
Of course, at this time, I wouldn't want the youth to take all the credit.
jamono ji na bëgguma ndaw yi jël ndam.
We have seen the elderly who had endeavored and negotiated, mediated during the impasse and all about it.
gis nañ ñi xala magaale tamit taxawaay yi nga xam ne jëloon nañ ko.
So it was a collective credit and a collective merit.
bon nag mbir la moo xam ne mbooloo la woon.
But it is a collective responsibility also to maintain it and ensure sustainability for posterity. I would want you to make any comments relating to this, but I'm happy that you said it is we the people who have to have the requisite discipline. Not only that, but all the other attributes relevant to effect the desirable and lasting change we need. On that note, I thank you very much.
Wow, I don't know where to start. Okay, thank you very much, Commissioner Kinte.
Commissioner Kinte.
That was very philosophical, if I could call it that. And you raised a lot of points. But I'll try to summarize my understanding and give you my perspective.
I
don't like to subscribe to the narrative of the colonial masters have their influence. The language I'm speaking to you, alien or colonial. So is the Quran that you're reading in Arabic. And I think the narrative I think that is important is we cannot change the past. We had our glory days, and then subsequently we were colonized by different imperial forces. And even now it's now Chinese, Turkish, and you know it. What does that tell you about us? We're always looking for the other. We don't look inwards. Because when we were growing up, if you remember, when you come on time, and you hear Kitubabla,
they say this one is a white one.
Everything that's good and virtuous.
When
you're truthful, all the good things we give to Tubab. And if you go back to our Chosan, Africa, where we used to be, this is the bedrock of value and culture. The first human being is from here. Where did we go wrong? That anthropologists can answer. My limited knowledge, I think the solution starts from the home. There's no university. No school. That can make you an honest man. It's family values It's where you get your schooling, where it is built and nurtured. Whatever values I have today, the values my parents gave me, those values are unshakable. Wherever I go, I carry them with me. I can add on top of it, but I don't reduce it. So we have an education system that's broken. Back in the days, you have a strong family support system, strong value system, not only family but community that reinforce. If you're a young child, you dare not walk in the street and hold a cigarette. Any parent will see a child and stop you and actually reprimand you. If it's time to go to Dara or school in Banjul and you're roaming in the street, I remember as a kid, I was riding my bicycle and MC Cham saw me and stopped and said, "Where are you going?" and told me to go home. I mean, that's how we grew up. We were everybody's child. Everybody's child's business was the communities. Today, we have outsourced the upbringing of our children to the schools. The quality of teachers we have today are different from the quality we had in yesteryears. Those were educators, they were teachers. This problem is, to fix it will take generations. But it will surely start from the home. Each family should take the responsibility of instilling values. Today, if you are a young woman or young man, you come home, you bring a car that you can afford, and your parents doesn't ask you where you got this car. Or you go out till 5 in the morning, no one cares. I mean, when we were growing up, it was not like that. But now it's like the parents have, some parents at least, have abdicated the responsibility to some extent. Now we have the social media and internet, which is what is training our children. Social media, and our values are being diluted. And it's, I'm not sure whether the boss hasn't already gone, but I think each individual has to make as much effort as possible at your family level to give your children certain values. So wherever they go in the world, I mean, I live abroad most of my life, but there's certain things that I will never do. Because when I do something, I not only do it's not only about me, it's about I'm offending my family's name. It means something to me. And I'm sure many Gambians are in the same position. So it's different. Now when we were growing up, you wanted to be like Lamin Sise because he's a smart, educated man. Today you want to be like Mr. Y because he has a story building or has a big car. So it has all changed. When really it's now the materialism that determines success. I go to university and I'm talking to young aspiring lawyers. Why do you want to be a lawyer? Oh, I want to have a nice house. I want to have a nice car. Typical. I mean, and to be honest with you, a lot of young people choose professions based on what they can get materially. That is the norm. Before, there was value in being smart and being educated, being well-read. It had value. Now, if somebody speaks bad English, you correct them, they tell you, oh, you're an elite. This language is alien to us. That's what it is. So you have journalists writing bad English every day in the papers. You have, you listen to the news, press releases, you can pick up every day. So mediocrity is normal, and people who speak out against it are elite. So being excellent is elite, and mediocrity is normal. How can you change a country with mediocrity? Are we ready for prime time? That's a rhetorical question. I hope I've answered your question. Yes. Thank you.
Amen. Bishop Odeko, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chairman.
Jërëjëf, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. SALIEU TAAL.
Jërëjëf, SALIEU TAAL.
For being a very brilliant witness to the TRRC.
Nga nekk koo xam ne nag ko am solo nga fii ci TRRC.
My question is about the former Chief Justice Fagbele.
Lima buga laajte mooy mbiri kii fi musoon a nekk Chief Justice Fagbele.
When did he actually left the scene?
Kañ la fi bàyyeekoo.
He left in 2017.
Daf fi jóge ko ci atum 2017.
In fact, one of the letters, the last letters we submitted
benn nag ci letter yi ñu àggale
was asking for his resignation. That letter was written in 2017.
pour sàkku na pour mu bàyyi place am moom ñu ngi ko bindoon ci atum 2017.
We catalogued everything he did.
te tamit nag dañ feeñal lépp loo xam ne def na ko.
Particularly during the impasse.
ci rawatina ci jamono féewaloo politique bi bi mu fi amee.
I mean, if he had his way,
bu amoon yoonam nag.
Yaya Jammeh would be president.
Yaya Jammeh daf fi doon des nekk fi président.
But there were forces stronger than him.
waaye nag am nañ ay yeneen jëfeen yoo xam ne nii ñoo ko jéggi dayoo.
We even got force from his hometown.
ndax am nañ sax ndimbal loo xam ne mu ngi jóge ko ci réew mi moom jóge ko moom.
So at some point he had no option.
ci yenn jamono daal amutul dara loo xam ne loolu la mën a def.
At some point he recused himself.
ci yenn jamono yi nag.
didn't continue the case.
mu génne ci boppam daa continuer wu nag mbir mi.
But he left in 2017.
waaye nag mu ngi fi jóge ko atum 2017.
Thank you. Imam Jallow, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chair.
Chair.
Witness, I must first of all congratulate you for your brilliant delivery. You have exposed a lot of things that maybe the Gambian population didn't know. Particularly effort your group took to ensure that you do not allow Yaya to stay in this country.
Surtout taxawaay yi nga xam ne yow yaak sa mbooloo mi jël ngeen ko pour gis ne Yaya du continuer toog ci biir réew mi.
The way I see things,
man mbir yi ni ma ko gisee.
lot of groups worked to get Yaya out of this country.
Am na ay mbooloo yu ci bari yoo xam ne taxawoon nañ pour génne Yaya ci réew mi.
The first group is the electorate itself.
Bu njëkk bi mooy ñi nga xam ne sax ñoo sànni seeni karta.
We went all out to vote him out.
Nga xam ne ñoom ñëpp dañ sànni karta pour génne ko ci réew mi.
We had soldiers who came here to this commission.
Am nañ ay soldats yu ñëw fii ci commission bi.
And told the commission that they actually burnt down 200,000 votes which were kept somewhere.
ñoo xam ne sax wax nañ commission bi ne dañ lakka ay karta yoo xam ne ñaar téeméeri junne karta lañ yoo xam dañ ko jëloon lakka ko béréb.
But the work of the bar
waaye liggéey bi nga xam ne moom la lawyer yi def.
is very outstanding.
loolu nag lu taxawee boor la.
And I first of all would like to congratulate you and your group for that.
te maa ngi laa gërëm bu baax a baax yow yaa sa mbooloo mi.
But my question is,
waaye nag li ma laajte mooy.
putting all this into context,
suñ boolee lii yépp nag.
realizing that we have now got Yaya out of this country.
te gis nañ nag ne fi mu nekk nag fexe nañ ba génnee Yaya ci biir réew mi.
We are the creation of all these political parties in this country.
li nga xam ne moom lañ sos parti politique yu bari yépp ci biir réew mi.
How would this affect our and cohesiveness which earned us the opportunity to kick Yaya out?
loolu naka la ñoo mën a dimbalee taxawaay bi nga xam ne moom lañ jël pour daxa Yaya fii.
I want your reaction to this.
dama bëgg nga wax fi sa xalaat ci loolu.
I feel like I'm being cross-examined.
mu ngi mel ni dañ ma nekk rek di laajte.
But I must say, excellent question.
danaa ne nag laajte bu am solo la.
First of all, I always say that, like Commissioner Kinte said, our group was a catalyst.
Comme ni Commissioner Kinte waxee rek ne suñ groupe gi nag royuwaay la.
That was able to galvanize Gambians to come together, particularly the youth.
boo xam ne na dana mën a dajale ndaw yi yëpp Gambie rawatina ndaw ñi.
It was just, it happened that it passed through us.
dafa xew rek ne dafa jaaree ci ñun.
But it is a victory for all the Gambians, particularly the youth. So I think if we're going to congratulate, we should congratulate everyone that really played their part. Because
dañ war a ndokkale ñëpp ñi nga xam ne ñoo ci dugal seen bopp.
Because I remember during the inauguration of President Barrow.
President Barrow.
The stadium was full of Gambians decided T-shirt decorations.
The stadium bi mu ngi feesoon tep ak T-shirt yi nga xam ne moom lañ bind ne Gambian has decided.
And we had nothing to do with it.
Te amuñ dara lu ñu war a defee ak loolu.
We just found it there.
Foofu lañ ko fekk rek.
That showed you that it took a life of its own, and Gambians made it work, and Gambians own it.
Nekk na mbir moo xam ne Gambian ñu moo ko moomale woon seen bopp.
And that was what we wanted.
Loolu lañ bëggoon.
So for us, even when we started making T-shirts, we had some groups making T-shirts, but they didn't have the right logo, and they were selling it for money. We sent them the logo. I said, if you're going to do it right. If you make money, but we have more T-shirts. So we said, no problem. Sell T-shirts, and the more the merrier. We could have actually trademarked. Gambia has decided. We decided no, this belongs to Gambia, because we know how to do that. We could have monetized it, but we thought this belongs to Gambia, and it's Gambia's efforts that made it successful. And for me, that's what I believe. I mean, of course, those people who started, I think they were very brave, but they just happened to they were put in a position and they did what they had to do. But without the Gambians, it would have just been another hashtag or another movement. Now, the last question. What was the last question again?
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Yeah.
How the creation of all these parties.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Your mic.
How can we ensure that you have already established?
Ma'am Jallo, your mic is not on.
Actually, I understand the question. I remember.
Okay, you can find it. It's all right.
To be honest with you, one of my biggest disappointment is in the political parties.
Political party.
They never acknowledge.
Gambians
decided. Not me personally, but Gambians decided. I was invited by the president of France. I've been to places, I've met great people. Up till today, as I speak, nothing has happened. I'm not looking for acknowledgement. I don't need acknowledgement. We don't need acknowledgement. We did something, it was almost like divine. We just did it. We didn't even know why we did it. Everybody else is inviting us. World-class places where top people go, and in the top 10 we're sitting there on the table. Except Gambia. Documentaries are done by Al Jazeera. GRTS actually recorded us. And we're told not to air it. Because some people are uncomfortable. This happened in this so-called New Gambia. Political parties felt threatened. They thought we wanted to have a political party. And many theories. Even for us to be invited to the inauguration was a discussion. But it's okay. We have shown that when we did it, we didn't look for ministerial appointments. None of our members has solicited, served any board commission up till today. None of our members. Because we were professionals who were earning their living. Continue to earn their livings, employing Gambians, paying taxes without government. We did it for our country. And when we post 2017, I remember when the government, when they decided to appoint Fatuma Tambajang, knowing that she was over age. We were a lonely voice. On record. We were attacked, vilified in this country. I have a whole folder of everything I've written. About every instance where the new government has broken the constitution, I have written about it on record. And in those days, it was one happy family. The moment you write, you're attacked. Today is different. I remember when we were supporting Occupy Westfield, some young kids who were complaining about NAWEC. We as Gambians decided we were supporting them because we believe they have a right to protest. We were being attacked. They insult us, insult our parents. Those same people who are attacking us are now in the same situation. So you see, principles and values should not change based on circumstances. And that is what happens in Gambia. Today, the position you take today for interest, tomorrow you might be supporting someone blindly, even when it's wrong. Tomorrow you might find yourself on the other side of the fence. So for us, we believe that the political environment deliberately did not want us to thrive. So, I mean, my members are all, they're professionals. Each one went to continue their jobs. I ran for bar president and I work. One of my partners, Rafi, joined a political party. So now the legacy remains. But the political parties did not want a strong civil society. I can tell you. Because if you think about it, from 2017 to date, name one piece of legislation that has been passed by our National Assembly that is for the benefit of the citizen, that is empowering us. One. Every piece of legislation passed has been self-serving. Reducing age limit, increasing salaries, so on and so forth. Not one piece of legislation has been changed, and I stand corrected. 2017 till today. All the laws that are being passed in Parliament is either what will benefit MPs or groups, but nothing for the country, nothing for the citizen. This is the fact. I mean, we can talk, we can talk about the Constitution, but law. Why can't you repeal those draconian laws? Those draconian laws, as we speak today, are being used and charged. The Gambians are being charged with those draconian laws as we speak today. We speak today. What has changed really? The only thing that has changed is no one is getting killed. And we will not allow anyone to take advantage of us. So our freedom of expression is not given to us by anybody. It's because we refuse to allow anybody to muzzle our voice again. So nobody give it to us. Nobody.
I hope the one exception in the laws is the passing of the TRRC Act, 2017. And in that also, I hope they consulted the Bar Association, because you are mentioned in Section 6 of the Act to be consulted among other entities by the President in the appointment, the establishment and appointment of the TRRC. I hope that is the case.
No, actually, what I mean is, of course, the CRC Act was done to create a constitution. The TRRC Act as well. I mean, in terms of changing our laws. I mean, there was a roadmap. The roadmap was to have a new constitution and have transitional justice. For TJ justice, you have the TRRC. For the constitution, you have the CRC. Those were, frameworks created. But there are laws there, individual laws, many laws. No one has touched them.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Oh, thank you.
For the record.
Thank you. Imam Jallo, you have a...
You still not touched on my point on the creation of all these multi-parties in this country. How will that affect our situation?
I
think, we live in a multi-party democracy.
Democracy
any group of people that meet the requirement can form a political party. I don't think it is healthy for a democracy to have political parties. But democracy is messy. The law allows people to have political parties. The moment you start questioning the right for someone to have a party, You are being undemocratic.
That is
a byproduct of democracy. I don't think we need more than 4 parties in a small country. How many do we have now? I think we have what? And more will come. And it dilutes. It causes a lot of problems, but it comes with the terrain.
Thank you. Imam C, you have the floor, please.
Mr. Salieu,
Mr. Salieu, we are thanking you. Appreciating you for the clarification. What I'm just inspiring that the letter you wrote that you sent to the Nigerian until he reached to the president, you have done something very good. You have inspired yourself there through your knowledge. It's a big jihad. And all the meetings that you held, even you lost your lives there, you will go to heaven. And all those T-shirts that you are distributing was a very good job. And it's a very big jihad. We are appreciating you, thanking you for that. And that is only matured. I know that the lawyers have power in any democratic country. That's in good capacity you also. And if all this was not your efforts, I'm not saying that it will not happen, but it will take a long time. We are thanking you very much.
Commissioner.
Imam, thank you.
Thank you very much, indeed. Mr. Tal, if you have any remarks to conclude your brilliant testimony, you may please proceed to make them now.
Tal, ude am nga yen kaddu nak yo buga tek ci sa kaddu yu am solo yi mun nga ko.
Thank you.
Jerejef.
I wish to extend my profound gratitude. Firstly, to the chair, the commissioners, the entire TRRC family, including the faceless support staff, who together ensure that the Commission delivers on its mandate. The foundation stone of our transitional justice process is the TRRC. I think it is important to remind ourselves of the mandate of the Commission. This is because many non-legal or lay persons perceive or misperceive the TRRC as a court of law, deciding the fate of witnesses who are simply witnesses to the Commission. It is important to reiterate and clarify that the Commission has powers akin to that of a high court. But it is not a court of law. Although it exercises quasi-judicial powers, within a limited and defined scope, for the purpose of being able to get witnesses to testify and testify truthfully.
pour nag dajale fi ñoo xam ne day ñëw fii wax fi seen seede tey buñ ko def nañ ko jaarale ci dëgg.
The TRRC Act
pencum TRRC loi bi ko taxawal
provides for the establishment of the historical record of the nature,
ngir nag nga xam ne danañ fi feeñal li nga xam ne doon na doon taarix,
causes,
li ko waral,
extent of violations,
ak ni nga xamee noonu lañu yaatale lu jëm ci wàlli fi ne ci am,
and abuses of human rights,
ak lu jëm ci wàlli xëtt yelleefi doomu aadama,
committed
yoo xam ne am nañu pas-pas nag
between July 1994
yoo xam ne def nañ ko ci diggante July 1994
to January 2017.
ba weeri January atum 2017.
I don't need to spell out what is on section 13. I think that is known to everyone here.
seetuma nag pour li nga xam ne moo nekk ci xatum fukk ak ñett bi.
But I think it is important to just
waaye xam naa ne dana am solo itamit
remind us of 13A.
dañu fàttali itamit fukk ak ñett ci buntu bu njëkk bi.
The need to create an impartial historical record
pour nag indi fi nag loo xam ne nii du am benn parparloo ci loo xam ne dañ ko mën a nettali ëllëg.
of violations and abuses.
ak lu jëm ci wàlli fitna yi ak xëtt yelleef yi fi am.
From July 1994
ci weeri July 1994
to January 2017.
ba weeri January 2017.
For what purpose?
ci benn jubluwaay.
Promote healing.
pour nag juboo
and reconciliation.
ak delloowaat nekk benn.
To respond to the needs of the victims.
pour uyu nag li nga xam ne nii nag moo nekk ñi ci loru seen aajo.
To address impunity.
te itamit nag saafara nag lépp lu aju ci wàlli def lu bon te kenn du la ci toppaat.
To prevent a repetition of the violations.
ak itamit fexe ba fi ne lu mel noonu daal bu mu fi amaat.
And abuses.
ak xëtt yelleef yooyu.
And come up with recommendations.
ak am ay ràññeef yoo xam ne dinañ ko def.
To put mechanisms in place to prevent them from happening again.
ba indi ay sarta yoo xam ne loolu dootu fi mën a amaat.
In the quest.
ci xeñtuk.
To first and foremost establish the truth.
pour nag taxawal na li nga xam ne mooy dëgg.
Without any embellishments.
te duñ ci am nag benn jaxalantoo.
Or underlying motive.
wala loo xam ne nag dafa am lu tuuti lu ko waral ci luñ du feeñal.
Other than telling the truth.
lu mooy nag wax dëgg ji.
The first truth that must be recognized.
dëgg ji nga xam ne nii nga xam ne moom lañ war a njëkk a ràññee.
Is that the freedom Gambians enjoy today.
mooy nag tey li Gambien di bànneexu de sago si ñooy demee.
It's not given to us by any leader.
joxuñu ko nag di benn njiit.
Politician. Or group of politicians.
wala ñoo xam ne nii ñoom lañ.
Let it be on record.
nañ ko def nag ci pour mu feeñ.
That the Gambian people.
ne doomi Gambien yi.
Through the ballot box.
ci ballot box yi.
Voted for change.
loo xam ne ni nag dañ wote woon pour wecceeku.
And asserted their rights.
te tamit ñu gaaral nag li nga xam ne ni mooy seen yelleef.
And sovereignty as citizens.
ak li nga xam ne ni nag mooy seen souveraineté comme doomi réew mi lañ.
I want to thank the Gambian people.
maa ngi gërëm nag doomi Gambien yi.
For finally deciding to use their vote on December 1st.
ci ni nga xamee ni nii noonu lañ xalaate woon jël seen carte ni ki benn fan ci weeri décembre.
To dismantle a 22-year-old dictatorship.
pour génne fi nguur goo xam ne nii nguur ak jaay doole la ci atum ci ñaar fukki at ak ñaar.
We are here today because Gambians decided for change.
ñu ngi fii tey pour ndax Gambia na dañ xalaatoon pour indi wecceeku.
Gambians decided to restore our dignity and sovereignty as a people.
Gambian yi dañ doon fexe nag delloowaat suñ daraja ak ne doomi Gambien lañ.
This is the starting point of our conversation on the road to rebuilding a nation.
lii nag mooy suñ commencé suñ waxtaan pour ne jamono bi nga xam ne ñu ngi daal di continuer suñ taxawaay.
A nation that is founded on democratic values.
réew mi nga xam ne nag am nañ démocratie.
Of tolerance.
masla.
Love for country.
am cofeel pour sa réew.
Respect for the rule of law.
ciral nag topp loi.
And justice.
ak lu dëgg ak àtte.
As we turn to a new page.
jamono bi nga xamee nag ñu ngi ci beneen fànn bu ees.
And revisit the past.
ñu tey tamit di bàyyi xel li ñu jox gannaaw.
Let us learn from our dark history.
nañu jànge nag ci suñ jamono bu lëndëm bi ñu jox gannaaw.
And I said dark, I mean the 22 years.
li ma miin foofu rek mooy ñaar fukki at ak ñaar ci gannaaw.
Of the Jammeh era.
di nguuri Jammeh.
And ensure that.
te gis na itamit ne.
That slogan, never again, on that wall.
Bak wi nga xamne ni moy never again moy bum amat fi.
It's not merely a slogan.
Nekut aw bakku rek de.
We must move beyond the rhetoric.
Fokk ci ñu dox ci lu wessu suñ njott.
To move beyond the rhetoric and hashtags.
Pour dox nak lu wessu suñ njott ci lolu.
We must, with sincerity,
fokk ci rek ñu tuux.
Genuinely heal as a people.
Tay tamen ñu goré rek jubo comme ni ay doom adama lañ.
Build a cohesive nation.
Daldi wéral fi nak réew mo xamné ni
that creates a space
bo xamné ni yaatal na suñ bop
for all its diverse people.
Ci nit ñi nga xamné ñoo fi nekk
from our different faiths.
Ci suñ diiné yu bokkut.
Culture. Cultures. Ethno-linguistic groups.
Ki tamen nak lu jëm ci mbotay yi nga xamné ñu ngi sé dox.
Age.
At yi.
Gender.
Digante góor ak jigéen.
And geographic location.
Ak nekkin bi.
We must
eliminate
all the binaries that creates a narrative of one against another.
A
narrative that polarizes us and uses us as political pawns or instruments. This is what Jammeh did to us as a people. And we must ensure that we collectively resist any system that purports to divide us as a people. Without justice and accountability, we will not heal as a nation. Without healing, we will not enjoy an enduring peace. For this reason, amongst others, it is important that at the end of the TRRC process, those found to bear the greatest responsibility for causing serious human rights violations must be brought to book, and preferably in the Gambia. Without preempting the finding of the Commission, I urge the government, particularly the President of the Republic, to ensure that the final recommendation of the TRRC is implemented to the letter. This is the least Gambians expect. The victims are crying for justice. And it is important that we have closure to forge ahead as a people. As Gambians, we have learned that brutality and wickedness is not alien to us. As proven by the gruesome testimonies we all heard. The inhumane and indignity meted out on many victims was made possible because many of our brothers and sisters made it possible, enabled it, wittingly or unwittingly. The enablers include all of us, from the citizens, including my humble self, who remained quiet for a good part of 22 years in the face of systemic human rights violations. To the security personnel who are supposed to defend us but became instruments of oppression. To our elected National Assembly members who allowed the Constitution to be changed over 50 times to entrench a dictatorship.
To our learned attorney generals,
attorney general
who crafted laws to repress our fundamental rights
and freedoms,
and use the laws to persecute us at the pleasure of Babali Mansa. To our judges, mercenary foreign judges, and some homegrown ones who ceded their independence to State House
State House
and helped Jammeh imprison his opponents or anyone who dared oppose him. To our Vice President, who stood by Jammeh, constantly nodding her head in support. Unconscionably. To our cabinet ministers, who shared him on for 22 years and crafted policies that fed a dictatorship. To our religious leaders, who prayed for Jammeh to stay in power forever and did not speak truth to power. Of course, with a few exceptions like the Babalis and the Hanafals. To civil society, for morphing into service providers. And finally, to my learned friends, who treaded carefully with a few exceptions for 22 years until that fateful day on the 14th of December 2016 when we finally mustered the courage to stand up to the dictatorship. Never again
never again
must we allow the dictatorship to take any shape or form in the Gambia. Like my brother Cherno Marena said in his testimony, we get the leaders we deserve. Let us hold our leaders accountable. Not only at State House, at all levels. I cannot finish my statement without recognizing the support of people who really played a huge part, but not known to Gambians, in the restoration of our democracy. I would start with Minister Babashola Fashola, former Lagos Governor, now Minister of Works.
Lagos Governor, Minister
Their brother who mentored me, supported me, and gave me access to the corridors of power in Nigeria. My brother and senior, Barrister Femi Falana, son.
Brother
Femi Falana, for his indefatigable advocacy in the sub-region, amplifying our voices in both local and international media. Landra Suraj, Executive Director of Serap and Heda, for the solidarity and support. To the Pan-African Lawyers Union, PALU, for the intense lobbying at the AU, and for their support and constant solidarity. And special thanks to my sister, Fatu Jain Senghor, and Aisha Dabo. These two women,
Extraordinary.
I
came from a background of corporate law, and my clientele are usually big businesses. I found myself into activism. And they gave me a crash course. Exposed me. Used their contacts. And happily stayed in the background. While trusting me in the limelight. I cannot thank them enough. And I'm just one of many Gambians that they've been supporting over the years. I'm sure I'm aware. I think these are Gambians that the president deserves to decorate. And I would like to thank my family. Both my parents, my late parents. My siblings. And especially my wife, who has been a pillar of support for me, and is a very courageous woman, who never for one told me to stop. And I would like to thank all the listeners, and I would enjoin the Gambian people to remember we have more in common as a people. Whilst we are entitled to support our different political parties, let us respect each other. We have an election coming. Let us watch our language. Let us be guarded. As a country, without peace, you cannot enjoy democracy. Only one person will be president. So let us conduct ourselves with decorum and respect. Our leader in peace and revert back to the harmony as Gambians. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. SALIEU TAAL.
Mr. SALIEU TAAL,
for those very wise concluding remarks. I would only echo sentiments that you expressed on behalf of the Commission. The right that we exercised in December 2016 to change the Gambia must not and I believe shall not be squandered. The TRRC, in the fulfillment of its mandate, will contribute its share in the endeavor to bring about that change. But I thank you enormously for your contribution for this almost 2 days now. And for your testimony as a whole. Thank you so much. This will bring us to the end of our proceedings for today. We will resume tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock sharp. In the meantime, the Reparations Committee would have a brief meeting at 3:30 in the conference room upstairs. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much indeed.
Star GSM Electronics special Ramadan promotion starting from April 4th to 15 on all our Star home appliances such as two-way gas cooker, microwaves, washing machines, stand fan rechargeable that can last for 8 hours, different stand freezers, deep freezers from 140 to 400 liters, blenders, stand and ceiling fans, solar panels ranging from 150 to 600 watts, different types of solar batteries, stabilizer ranging from 500 watts to 2,500 watts, originally flat screens from 17 to 65 inches. All our items are durable, energy saving, modern, and 2 years